rock and roll. Yep, that's my metal voice. You're welcome. All right, let's do this. Hey, Internet. It's good to see you. How you been? This is like Dora the Explorer, where I wait for your response. No, I'm kidding. Actually, there is a response. Thank you, Uncanny Tree. I was kind of kidding, but that's the benefit of doing live games. Absolutely. I'm the map. Actually, there is a map in this game. We're playing Descent into Avernus. The map is right here. I'm the map. I'm the map. It's the mad.
Is that one
also?
Is that map also possessed?
I'm sorry. Was that Darcy?
I said, is that version of the map also possessed?
Yes. I think all of the versions of the map are possessed. We're gonna get sued by.
Good job, wizards. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
We're gonna cross the broken bridge over the lava river and into the damn volcano.
You know, I wasn't thinking about
It's
the
funny
map
you
in
say
Dora
that.
being possessed, but you are correct now that you mention it. Yeah.
Yep. It is the mad cartographer. It was ahead of its time. Hey, kids. Do you like violence? All right. So we're gonna be. I'm quoting all
What
kinds
scares
of stuff.
me, what scares me is that Carl knew that verbatim.
He knew. He's got kids. He knows.
Yeah,
Dungeons and Dads. He knows what it's all about.
A whole fucking weekend of fucking Dora. I get it.
I used to set my watch by that. Seriously, you're like, it's 13 minutes
So
in.
did I.
Yes, we're talking about Tortures in Hell tonight, folks. No, we're playing Tortures in Hell. That's it. So we're doing the whole
Dora's
show.
part of it.
That is true. The whole show is possessed. Thank you. So welcome back. We're going to play some Dungeons and Dragons tonight. We're playing Descent into Avernus with these fine folks. We started out as a homebrew called Morally Ambiguous, and who knew? They all went to hell. And in a handbasket, no less. So actually went in a portal away gate with that dude right there. But anyway, we're going to do a quick recap. My name is Todd. I'm going to be the DM. You are the internet, and you are part of our game as well. And I want to point out that if you have any game suggestions, ideas, just want to say hey, or you can, cash in some plot points and actually make their lives better or worse, more interesting anyway. We love your creative input, so thank you very much for tuning in. And don't forget, you can always check out our backlog on YouTube and on the various podcast places. So, hey, by the way, I think, where was it? Ohio just exploded. So thanks very much for the listens, Ohio. Feel free to join the live game and have a say. We even sometimes say bad words. All right, so yeah, keep the kitties at home. This is not Dora the Boyer. So anyway, let's meet the lovely people around the. You thought I meant that literally? I might. Yeah, I do take suggestions for realsy. In fact, it's cataloged in the chat right next to my head. So anyway, we're going to go around the horn, meet all the players, find out who they're playing, and we're going to recap on the game so far because we had a player away last week. So without further ado, I'm going to shut up now and throw it over to Bella.
Hey everybody, I'm Bella. I am playing Darmida, no last name given. She is a Gloomstalker Ranger, and she is a fallen Aasimar. And since right before we went to Hell, we ran into some version of her mother. And since we've been in Hell, we have met another version of her mother who might be maybe helping us. Don't know. So
Absolutely.
We'll find out.
Yes, and you have that commune. You got to roll for that later on today. Don't let me forget that. All right.
Do you know I have never fucking made it? I'm just
I thought you
saying.
did once.
Like, never.
Like,
no.
not since you met
never.
her, though. Anyway, it's fives and sixes now. So that'll up your odds, hopefully, on the recharge. A little bit of custom homebrew nonsense going on here. So let's keep
How about...
Sorry?
I have a suggestion. How about 2 to 6? And that will up my odds.
I've seen the way you roll. You're right. But unfortunately, I'm not that nice.
Fair enough.
All right, so Darcy.
Here.
Darcy, you're up next. Who are you playing tonight?
Hi. Well, I'm playing Henrietta Pedersen, affectionately referred to as Hen. I do want to say that not all of us came to hell through a portal. In fact, only 2 of us did. Isn't that
That's
interesting?
right.
A bunch of us came to hell, but they're not with us anymore.
Yeah, we lost a few people along the way. Not to forget about Benkum, R.I.P., and Jay.
Or missing.
Missing or dead, absolutely. All right, so tell me a little bit about Henrietta Pedersen. Pedersen?
Oh, Pedersen. Yeah, she is a paladin of Palor. Considers herself a pacifist. And never really got into the paladining thing for a while. She was sort of like, yeah, I'll like keep God in my heart and travel around and kumbaya with people, and really picked up some bard skills instead. Then she came to hell and was like, I better shape up. It's getting too hot.
I thought they were stories. Oh, son of a...
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's basically her.
Unofficially, that's my plan too. I'll just be like, oh crap, this was real. there's a callback to my pseudo-religious upbringing. All right, so we're looking forward to seeing more about Henrietta. Now, she does have an interesting helmet that she picked up. It is a cursed item that is part divine, part demon. So that might play in if suddenly I start doing a crazy, scary voice. Just realize I only have like 4 voices, maybe 5. We'll see. All right, let's keep going on horn. Unfortunately, he was away last week, but he is back. Welcome back to the table, Carl.
How's it going, guys? My name's Carl. Depending on the recap today, I'll either be playing Dora or my character, Faluri. Faluri is a Narakokra monk, a shadow monk to be precise. Last time I was with the party, we had just escaped the liberation of the devil, I believe. And before that, we explored Faluri's background a little bit back at the monastery.
That's right.
So,
I forgot about that flashback episode or dream episode.
That's
that was
right.
Fun.
It was. So I'm looking forward to seeing where we're progressing, and we'll go from there.
Absolutely. All right. And last but certainly not least, coming around the horn to Gordon. Hey, Gordon.
Hey there. Gordon playing a resident shadow sorcerer, Fenris. And he's, last session was very interesting. He wasn't killing anybody, along with Darmida, or beating up rival fiends, but he met an old acquaintance that he had came to a deal with a long time ago, way back in the early days, with a succubus, the Veiled One. And he met her through her one-time imp Zeet, who was, I guess, transformed into a lemur as part of an overall punishment. And, I guess thankfully, because Fenris tends to be pretty perceptive, he didn't destroy the lemur when the lemur called out his name and recognized who it was. And they were brought back to the Veiled One, her tiny oasis, and looking for allies and willing to make a deal again with her. Fenris was very persuasive, I remember.
Oh my god, yes. I was so irritated.
He was not just like, I'm okay persuasive, but he's very persuasive with his charisma and his skill. But to roll in that 20 on top of that, so got all the help needed, and she gave a couple of options and offered to introduce us. I think we're leaning in one direction, and I think that was mostly the last session. There was a little bit more table setting when it comes to where we're going to go next. A little bit more understanding of what happened to her, because that was a bit of a question mark when we left her a long time ago. And it was a good opportunity for us to take a bit of a rest as well, because we spent a lot of our energy freeing a demon lord that's now rampaging along the countryside of hell.
You know, like you do. When in hell.
Like you do.
All right. Well, thanks very much for the recap as well. And let's not forget as well. I love to plug your other passion, which is making games. So, do you want to talk a bit about that?
Yeah. So, for those that don't know, I do make board games on the side, and I partner with a publisher in the States called Greenbrier Games. And one game that is in the process of being made is called Lost Ones. The Kickstarter finished in November, and the Pledge Manager was actually just reopened for those that pledged, and that's closing, I think, beginning of May.
Oh, I should probably do that.
And so there's some time when it comes to people upping their pledges, and it should be coming out later this year, likely around the time of Gen Con.
And I'm going to make you play that on here without, paying licensing fees or something. From all, it eats into all my sweet, sweet Twitch money. No, but, so we are going to dive in, and I think we're pretty much up to speed in terms of things. So everybody's had a long rest. Everybody, you are staying in a small, kind of the remains of a keep, which has kind of thrust itself into the plains. It was once a beautiful keep on the deserted, horrifying plains of Avernus. And I got a chance to do a nice big lore dump last week on the history of Avernus. So if you want a little bit more about that, you can check that out. And you have now completed a rest in the under the protection of a succubus. You're in the shadow of a massive volcano, and it is belching fire into the sky just almost immediately south of you. The river Styx, when you wake up, is winding its way a slightly different path. It seems to be constantly shifting and changing its course and changing the landscape around it, and leaving this massive bleeding scar across the plains. And it is now flowing almost directly west of you, a lot closer than it used to be. Like, you pretty much wake up near the bank. It's probably only about 500 feet away when you go to leave, and you're just like, oh, I did not expect that to be there when you woke up. And otherwise, everyone has had a full rest, and because you were protected, you do not have to roll Constitution saving throws this time. So,
yay!
Without further ado, we're going to dive in and go back to hell.
So, Carl, you have any questions?
Oh, yeah! We're good! At least I didn't fall into the river Styx. We're good.
All right, so you're probably one of the first ones awake, Carl, because you've been having these... Valerie. You've been having these dreams again. And it's this reoccurring moment, and it's literally the last few seconds of that flashback episode, which I think was 36 or something, where your nemesis is getting away, and you can hear the footsteps running down a hall, and you're turning hall after hall, and it's getting narrower and narrower and pressing in on you. You bolt awake, drenched in sweat, and you can hear the echoing footsteps for just a second after you wake up. Just and this quiet laughter of Sarnia in the dark. Now she is one direction, and your nemesis, what was his name again?
Oh man, you put me on the spot.
You betcha. What, I have to take notes now? Your nemesis,
I do?
not Sarnia, but it started with an S. Phallic, something, I don't know.
Salic sounds right.
Salic,
Yeah,
I think it was.
Or like maybe Selic, I don't know.
Yeah.
Something
Tom.
like that. Yeah.
Tom Salic.
Tom. It was Tom, yeah.
He had a beautiful mustache and a horrible soul. All right, so yeah, that you wake up in a cold sweat and pad your way out of a small. It's mostly it's a bedroom without a door, basically. The rest of you've been camped out in. You can hear everyone else snoring softly, especially Henrietta, the others, and essentially the second you move, Darmita bolts upright, her hand half on her bow, and then she settles as she takes in her surrounding, grumpily turns over and goes back to sleep for another little while. Valerie, you get yourself up and move to the next room, just kind of taking it in, and it's probably one of the most comfortable nights you've had since you came to Hell. The dust blowing across the plain hasn't totally entered this space. It's got these windows that don't have any glass in them anymore, but just the walls themselves tend to keep the angle, just by luck or by design, keep most of the dust and ash out of this immediate vicinity. And you look around, and after a few seconds, you can see this shape hanging from these rafters. The sky is open above you in this one section. Where you slept wasn't. These rafters and a massive chandelier dangling down. Next to the chandelier, you see this cocoon-like, leathery shape hanging upside down. And after a few seconds, you realize you're looking at the succubus as she is dangling upside down by her bat-like wings, the claws digging into the ancient wooden rafters of what remains of the ceiling. And as you come, you see these two glowing red eyes peeking out from beneath the little gap in the wings. And then it unfolds, and the succubus drops down, just slowly down from the ceiling, and turns to you.
What's for breakfast?
I had hoped you might help me with that.
Oh, you got the wrong idea.
Well, I was actually meaning the boar that frequent the river. If you go just a little bit north along the river, you will see a small herd of boar. If you capture one or two, we'll eat well for the breakfast.
They're not like possessed boars, are they?
Well, they're maybe a little less friendly than the mortal pine, but that shouldn't be much trouble. Make sure they're dead.
Fuck it, I'm hungry.
Good. So
how big are these? Just curious. Small enough for me to carry two of them?
You might want to bring a friend.
Well, they look a little tired. I'll go pick one off, and then we'll see.
Suit yourself. Happy hunting.
Hey, how hard could this be? Talks to herself, so...
All right, so
right,
make a survival check for me as you begin to try and track these boars.
Of course.
Or perception, just different DCs.
Well, I prefer perception.
You got it, uncanny.
Reroll, just use that.
I wasn't even watching. 11. 11 is fine. So you...
Alright. I'll stick with that then.
You obviously find the sticks without any issue, but it takes you a little... You're looking, and I was going to say I'll give you advantage on this, but that doesn't help you on that roll. So, because you can be airborne, so you take to the sky, the hot air and ash, you're getting kind of used to it at this point, and after that dream, it's just nice to be out in the open. But it is foul. The whole air just stinks like really sun-baked rotten flesh that's been out for weeks. Just that horrible pungent just sticks in your nose. So you go up into the air and trying to catch sight of these boars, and you don't see the trail that the succubus mentioned. But while you're airborne, hundreds of feet in the air, you do see something else. On the opposite side of the sticks, you look up and you see a shadow move, and you turn your head and you see, perched on the top of a cliff just on the opposite side, this kind of jutting sudden stone rise. You see this massive bat-like creature, the wings unfolding. You've got excellent bird sight, so you can see pretty well from up here, and you can see the greenish tint of the scales of on its wings and very long serpentine neck and tail. It's probably about a half a mile on the other side of the river from where you are now, but you see a fairly sizable green dragon just taking flight in the morning.
Huh. I wonder if he knows where the boar's at. Or maybe I should just go. Maybe I should just go back.
Sure, you can go and ask if you want to.
Let me recall what happened last time I encountered a dragon, or thought I did.
Yeah.
No. Maybe on my way back, I'll find some boars.
So you're basically, as you're kind of considering your thoughts for a second, you're kind of suspended, and then you're like, no, you fold the wings and just pivot and fall back towards. You could just pull out of the dive at about like 30 feet from the ground, just your shadow just playing across the dust, and you head back towards the succubus. All right, by the time you get back, everyone else has roused themselves and readied themselves for the day. I believe Darmida had some good berries ready.
I did that last time.
All right. Anybody want to do anything before you, or what do you want to do? You were trying to make up your mind.
I will do a little communing with Pelor to prepare spells, assuming I can do that while I'm in hell. I will try at very least. That is what Hannah's doing. Some morning prayer type hymns.
Sure, go for it.
Yeah.
While he's doing that,
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I'm going to make an attempt to roll for my commune.
Sure thing, go for it. That's a D6, and a 5 or a 6 will, of course. Of course it's a 4.
All I have to say is, that is what I do when I roll.
Yeah, I believe I rolled for mine last week, so I too missed mine.
Well, it's daily, though. You just started a new day.
Yeah, but we started this day last
did
week,
we?
too. We had a conversation in the morning of
Oh,
this
I thought
day.
that was just prior to bed.
It's impossible to know. I remember I was like, well, we're having this conversation in the morning. Can we flash back to the night? And then we did the night, and then we did the morning again, and I don't know where we are. But
so that conversation happened while Valerie was flying and looking for boar. So that's how we're going to figure that out.
The point is, I did roll already for this new day. Regardless of if we are now in the new day or not.
I appreciate that you're honest. I would not be, but then I'm playing the devils.
You know.
All right, so Valerie comes in and at this point, and everybody is roused and ready, and the succubus is kind of off in her aside chamber at this point. So you have a few minutes to talk and decide on what the party wants to do.
Cool.
Well, we talked about this. I think with what options we have, I think we should have an introduction with Belle, arranged by the Veiled One.
This is news to Valerie, who was away during that planning session.
Valerie, while you were away, we were talking about our options. So, the Veiled One has agreed to aid us, and in return, we will aid her getting out of this place, and also not really interrupting her activities when she's out. We have an option to be introduced to a dragonborn named Arkan who serves Tiamat, and maybe have some type of arrangement there, or Bell, who is an archfiend that used to rule Avernus, but was
Found the
his
boars.
place- yeah, he found boars. Oh,
No. Never mind. Sorry to interrupt.
so anyways, we were just discussing which option makes more sense, and we learned that the companion, that thing over El Terrell, was created in Bell's Forge. I'm not sure if it's with him or not, so we're thinking maybe there's something there to it that we can take advantage of. That's
Sounds
my
good.
thinking anyways.
Sounds like a good option. Bell's Forge.
We also asked about Sarnia, by the way. She'll
Mm.
keep an eye out if there's any sign of this real pain in the ass, Erinius. We'll find her.
Pain in the Arrhenius.
Erinius. My ex-girlfriend, whatever. So, all right, we're all in agreement then? No one is disagreeing? So I kind of call out to her, the Veiled One.
Yes.
Thank you for the respite, and I think we've made a choice. We'd like an introduction with Belle.
I can arrange that. It will take me maybe 10, 15 minutes to prepare. I'll give you a signed letter of introduction that would not be able to be forged.
Sounds good.
So she goes, whoa, what happened there? She goes, it's all me. No, it's a camera thing. And we
Yeah.
just lost somebody. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Carl.
There we
How
go.
you doing, girl?
Sorry,
It's all
sorry.
good, man. It's all good.
Mhm.
We'll just get back over here so it's less distracting. So, after a few minutes, the Veiled One comes back with this thick vellum-like. It's, let's just say, when you take a bit of a. At first, it looks like a scroll, an ornate-looking kind of scroll case, and then she's just busy sliding in this roll of what could be parchment, but it's fairly clearly a skin, a tanned, stretched skin. It's got around the edges. It's got bits of little lines of deep red, crimson, and brown etchings on the back, and the script, as you saw her rolling it up, was in Infernal. And there's a seal that she presses to it, and she takes out a dagger and licks it, drawing blood on her own tongue, and then leans down and presses her tongue against the outside of this rolled scroll, and there's this little burst of smoke and smoldering for a second as it brands into it, this succubus kiss, and that she seals it with in blood, and then seals up the scroll case and offers it over to you.
I take it.
This will allow you safe introduction. Bell can be a little bit temperamental, but he is a devil of his word. I would say this. He may seem cruel, because he is, but he's not foolish. If he sees no benefit in destruction, he can be quite dismissive of the, take no offense, lower beings such as yourselves.
Okay, good to know. And where can you direct us to find him?
Go there, and when you encounter his troops,
She points out the window, and there's the smoking volcano due south.
And when you encounter his troops, tell them that the Veiled One has sent you.
Very well.
She
Take your
leans
leave now.
She leans into Fenris, presumably for some kind of pseudo-twisted affectionate goodbye, but into your ear as she nibbles on your earlobe with these surprisingly sharp teeth. She whispers something. And we will get back to that in a second when I find it in my freaking notes. It's in here. It is in here. So, she whispers something into your ear and pulls back, and there's this little trickle of blood on the edge of your earlobes just dripping down your neck. And she's licking her lips and sharp teeth.
It's been a pleasure. I trust that our business arrangements can be fruitful. I'll see you on the other side. If not before.
See you soon.
You take 1 hit point worth of damage, by the way.
Ooh. Okay.
You got a pierced ear now.
Oh boy, oh boy. Back to the magic school bus.
Little side note, when you made the deal, Internet, the succubus also pierced something else. You can go ahead and say where Fenris has been pierced in the chat if you want to cash in some as part of their deal. If you want to cash in some of those plot points, we'll accept suggestions now.
Pandora's box has been opened.
Oh, there's going to be extra for Pandora's box. That's I mean, a Prince Albert's one thing, but a Pandora's box, that's oof.
Ooh.
Jesus Christ.
How to make my whole party cringe.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
This game is going off the rails.
Oh, there were rails?
You're literally using a module.
Exactly. This is all in here.
Those are the rails.
Oh, I guess these are the rails.
Let me look.
Yeah.
All
Let
right.
me look in my backpack.
Sure. What do you want to find?
A map.
Okay, so you pull out your map. You're the map. You're the map. You're the map. You're the map.
Right.
Yeah.
Smoking volcanoes.
Due south.
Due south. It is hard to miss. It is directly south of where you parked their magic school bus. You can bring that if you want, or you can stay parked. Map is written in crayon. Totally true. Hey, Alpha, how's it going? Sorry, for some reason it's not reading people's chats anymore, but I'm reading them, so. Smiley faces, flowers. The flowers have teeth. Be careful. So you guys see this massive volcano, billowing smoke, and glowing red from underneath, and you see that lightning and the fire amongst the smoke. It is dramatic. As you pile onto your infernal machine, fire it up and drive it south. As you get closer, the ground gets more treacherous. As you're going along, the back wheel punches through a thin layer of rock, and I'm going to need Darmida to do a handling check, which I believe we've been just doing as ground vehicles, land vehicles, if you're proficient.
Yeah.
If you're not, then it's just straight up dicks.
I think at this point with this vehicle, I am proficient.
I think you
Yeah,
tried.
like custom ground vehicles for this specific vehicle.
Yeah.
And then Kenku
So
trained you up before they left, so you are familiar with it. So, yeah.
So, I don't really have that on here.
Now, if you just roll a d20, add your dex and your
Yeah.
proficiency modifier.
Yeah, I'll do that. Okay. And then
That's like 20. Maybe more.
16 and... Yeah, 20.
Oh, nice. All right, that is enough. So you, as it gives way, you heave it hard to the right, and the whole vehicle, just everyone is thrown. The horse in the back, Henrietta's steed, is really not happy. But everybody's okay. But the whole vehicle rocks up on two wheels for a second and slams back down as you veer hard to the left. The back wheels had punched through, and you look back and you see a spot where the lava pool has crusted over, but the crust was so thin your vehicle punched a hole through it, and you can see one of your wheels is busy smoldering and a bit on fire, but it doesn't seem to be too badly damaged. By the way, there are stats for your machine, so I'm going to share those out to you if I can find them. So anyway, in the meantime, where is that? I gotta find that.
Wow.
Anyway,
Shared them before. So they
yeah,
should be in here.
they're in there somewhere.
Basic rules, player handouts, scavenger. This doesn't have a picture, so that's not going to help.
No,
They're under the stat blocks, aren't they?
they
That
should
would make sense.
be. I did give it out, I believe, just in case you need
Oh
it.
yeah, Infernal War Machines is its own thing. Yeah, there it is.
all the
Appendix
way down, and you in particular have the scavenger, which I'll show now. And I don't, yeah, it's in all your journals and can be controlled by everybody, so there you go. Saved. Okay, so there are different functions you can do as you're using this thing. Can I get somebody to roll a d10 for me?
A D10.
This is just
It's
to
not
see
gonna be me.
any other adventure interruptions as you're traveling along. Let's see how you do.
2. Dos.
Dose. All right. So you're tearing along the landscape, and you've done this hard maneuver, and the one wheel is making a kind of an awful sound as this grinding noise. And over time, the noise kind of gets a bit louder and a bit louder, and the wheel is starting to wobble. The whole machine's starting to shake a little bit. So it looks like it's a bit damaged. If you want to press on, you can. It does seem to be semi-functional, but you could also try to stop and see what's wrong.
Yeah, I'll
And
stop.
We got a busted up wheel. What we want to do?
All right, so Darmida grinds the machine to a halt, and it falls silent as she kills the engine. What do you want to do as you're all sitting on this really large, rickety, old, twisted iron and very strange machine?
Yeah, cool. I'll walk my horse out from wherever they are. See what happened. It's a lot worse than unusual. What's going on out here?
Go ahead and why don't we get some perception checks? But tell me what you're looking at.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not looking at the wheel. I'm just talking to people.
Okay.
Because you said before, maybe we can just walk it. So getting halfway might be enough.
Yeah, you're about halfway
I'll make
right
a
now.
perception, just like looking around, you know.
And I'll just go straight up and just start patrolling up, just to make sure that, hey, we're sitting ducks right now, so making sure there's nothing that's either above us trying to grab us or anything that might have been observing us and has seen us stop. So
Sure thing. Do a perception check for me there, Valerie.
Yeah,
And
like
I'm
that.
going to be checking the actual problem. So I'm going to be really kind of inspecting the wheel and where I heard kind of the crunching come from.
Absolutely. Go ahead and do an investigation check, Darmida. And Gordon, what are you going to be working on there?
I'm looking around for basically danger. Yeah, just taking a look around.
Sure thing. All right, so we'll deal with Darmida first, actually. Thank you, I see that. Darmida, as you get down near the axle and you're kind of looking from the outside, the wheel looks a little singed, but it doesn't look damaged too much, but it does look a little bit off angle. And so you kind of poke your head in, and you have to crawl pretty far up and underneath this thing, and you can see that there's a jagged shard of volcanic rock is kind of wedged in one of the spokes, and as it goes around, it bashes against the underside. So that was that rhythmic thumping sound. If you wanted to try and pry it loose, you could take the whole wheel off, perhaps, if you can figure out how to do that, or you could just try to pry the volcanic rock shard out of there. It's your call. Oh, I don't know if she heard me. Okay, so meanwhile, Valerie, as you're flying above with a 13, you're looking around. It's pretty exposed here. It is fairly open plain, dusty. The good news is you should be able to see any trouble coming, and so that should prevent you from hopefully having the worst of it anyway. But thankful, but all the cameras are all messed up now. It's all good. We'll just jump back here. So as you're patrolling around, you don't see any sign of any other movement on the plains, the rolling clouds and the dust and yourselves. It seems to be pretty clear. Gordon, you step down off of this, take the opportunity to step down from the rattling machine and stretch a little bit and look around, and you're trying to take it in very carefully, and you don't see anything, but there's this very, very low grade rumbling sound. And it's really fine, and this thrum, and you can feel it more in your feet than you can actually hear it. It's very faint, yeah. And with an 18, it's probably somewhere east.
I'm just going to look east, but I will call out to the others that there's I'll mention there are vibrations in the ground. There might be something moving. Maybe it's another vehicle east, I think.
Ooh, something's crackly. Who's eating chips?
I think the mic is rubbing.
Yeah, I think Carl's mic is rubbing against it or something.
Oh, it's your beard. That's some good beard scratch. Yeah, everybody, we're gonna have a beard scratch break. Or rub your beards on your. I just shaved it. I was looking pretty scruffy. I could have joined you.
Maybe next week. Next
thing you know, you're gonna go full ISO beard. It's all the chips you dropped in your beard, is what it is when you're on vacation. It's your chip scratch.
That's right. Same for later.
All right, so Fenris, that rumbling sound is getting closer and a little bit more noticeable right about now. Darmida, you can now pick it up, and Henrietta, you can feel it as well, and it definitely feels like this. You can even see some of the stones rattling around a little bit on the ground.
And did I notice anything? Sorry about the what wheel? I was investigating.
Absolutely. Yeah. So when you crawled up underneath, before you noticed this rumbling, you saw a sliver of kind of volcanic, almost glass. It's almost obsidian, but it must have broken off volcanic rock in a shard that got wedged in one of the spokes of the wheel, and as it goes around, it bashes against the underside of the kind of the fairing of the vehicle. So you could pry it loose, or if you would like somehow, or you could take the wheel off and then get it out of there maybe a bit easier.
I'm going to try to pry it loose.
Okay, I'm going to need you to do a strength check.
I'm so strong.
You're so strong. Yeah, I think I've wandered over to where Darmida is, in my looking around and walking out. So I was like, what happened? And then I see Darmida trying to look at this. And I think I just look at it as oh, it's busted, eh? I never really liked this thing anyway.
Yeah, I think it's useless. I don't know. We might have to just toss it. Like, unless somebody wants to help me try to get this out, or we can remove the wheel. But I don't know. Did you just feel that?
Yeah.
Like there was.
Like we might have company. I mean,
I don't know.
Something I meant to ask actually. A lot of talking back there. Is that something I should be expecting more of in the future? Welcome change of pace instead of attacking on sight every time. Turns out some of them have something to say.
Don't get used to it.
And that is about a perfect moment for Fenris. You feel this thing really building to a crescendo. Something is about to happen. Darmida, go ahead and do a... Oh, I see that strength check was a total of 3. It is good and wedged. You can't even... You just go to pull this thing and it's just thoroughly wedged in there. There's no way you can pry that out by hand. No way you can, anyway. At about this moment, Fenris, whatever it is, the ground is shaking almost directly due east, and it's coming closer fast. You don't see anything. And then you see this little plume of dust, and a small bit of the ground just give away in almost like a line. Y'all have seen Tremors, right? So something is burrowing its way towards you.
I don't see anything at all.
At this point, not with the third.
You're feeling, right? You're up in the air.
Yeah, most of it is you feeling it. So unfortunately, you can't see anything at this point there, Carl. You're circling around. You're pretty sure you are safe.
Yeah, I think I'm like continuing that conversation with Darmida, where I'm like, well, tell me, what was special about her? I'm like, I'm trying to figure you out.
You talk a lot. There's nothing special.
I mean,
there's nothing special. It's a means to an end.
Well, how would
Fenris,
you know? You don't. Right, fair enough.
Fenris believes it'll work. I'm trusting him for now. But he made a deal with her, not I.
It's fair enough. I meant to have the conversation with both of you, but, well. I know, I mount up.
All right, and at that point, your horse is getting really skittish as well, and so unfortunately, it's going to be a lot harder to drive the vehicle while it's rattling around, unless you're going to go on foot.
Is the tremors coming? Like, is it coming closer, or is it just still in the distance?
It is getting closer. It's probably twice as close if you had to make a guess. Go ahead and at this point, if you wanted to, you could do an investigation check to try and determine how close. Or survival. One or the other.
Sure. I'll do a survival check.
I would likely be also trying to assess what's going on based on whether or not we should get back in this thing, or whether we should actually, with a majority of us being able to fly, because I've now had a long rest and
That's
my
true.
boots have rested.
All right.
And I didn't use them a lot since we've left since I let,
Absolutely. So at this point,
the stash get away. So
yeah. So
no idea.
Gordon, you get down on the ground and you put your head on the ground and you listen, and it's silent with your natural one, and it's very still, and you're just like,
Peaceful.
They must have gone away. Weird. You get up and you turn to the others, and Darmida's just starting to take a look around, and all of you, it's oddly quiet for a moment. And then, all of a sudden, this massive spray of dirt and rock just kick up into the air, maybe 10 feet away from where Fenris is standing. He's kind of the furthest standing. I'm going to need a map of some kind. So as this large... you've seen things like this, perhaps. It's this oversized insectoid, almost centipede-like creature with this massive face and wide kind of cobra-like spray headpiece with all these pincers which writhe and help it burrow through the ground. It's similar, but not entirely exactly like a Remorez. But this one's coloration is weird. If you've ever seen one on the mortal plane, on the prime material plane, they look reddish. They look blue with like fiery hot spines. This one is almost inverted. It looks fiery red, and then the spines along its back are this deep, verdant, cold blue, and this steam is just escaping off of its back.
That's
and
one
it opens
angry
up,
breakfast.
And you now all see this, and it's just like as it looks towards you. And go ahead and roll initiative.
Okay. Well, it's my initiative, not my notes. Because, yeah, it'll snap to mine. Cool.
Man, what's with the mediocre rolls for me today?
Grab your minis,
Damn,
folks.
Darmida.
We're reusing this map again, because it's vaguely hellish. It'll load eventually, I swear. Oh, by the way, I like to shout out about the maps. I grabbed this one off of Pog's Props, which you should follow them on Patreon. They do good work. All right, so if you want to place yourselves somewhere on this map that I have now shown, I guess it's probably not revealed. That's usually what happens.
No.
Yeah, that's usually what happens. Well, it's pretty much wide open territory, so there you go.
There you go.
And go ahead and place yourself somewhere. I'll throw the Infernal War Machine someplace for you as well. Actually, you can choose to place that as well.
I would like... Yeah, I would be next to it.
Yep.
So...
Thanks.
Whoa. That's big.
They are pretty sizable.
Uh-huh.
So we'll have stopped right in this little spot right there.
Okay.
So I'll say I'm probably 60 feet up in the air. I would assume so if I'm flying. Even that's a little low, but maybe Todd, you can let me know how high I am. And
Yeah, you're probably about 80, about 80, 90 feet up in the air.
All right. 80 to 90 feet. Got it.
The wider end is its head, just so you know. And it is that coloration, that vibrant lava-like red, but a cold blue streak running right down. And when its mandibles and mouth open, you see this absolute vicious-looking blue and row upon row of teeth as well. I'm gonna guess everything is dead. Internet down. We're gonna be right back as we get ready for this battle. Hey, Internet. My internet died. Not you, I hope. Anyway, we're just going to take 10 minutes. Sorry about the disconnect. I had to go kick my router in the nougats. So we'll be back after a 10-minute break, a little bit early, but that's okay. Then we get to come back and rock and roll with some combat versus my own little Remorez type creature type thing. So we'll be back in 10. Thanks very much. Buttons. Hi, Internet. We're back, and hopefully my internet will hold. I've sacrificed a small chicken to the router. I've done a little dance. I hope that's not offensive, but it seemed pleased, and it seems to be holding up okay. We have returned. We're going to get back into it in just a sec. We left off right as the magma remores pressed its way up out of the ground, and we rolled initiative. So let's get to it. So I guess this will be episode 46B. Maybe. I'll stitch these together later. All right, everybody, let's dive back in. We are on the plains of Avernus. This massive red, deep red with, it's actually almost crusted black chitinous armor. And then underneath, as it moves, you see these little cracks evolve, and it's just glowing red hot. So it's this tinge of black and red, and then a cold stripe all the way down its back of this deep blue as it pulses out of the ground. Technically, I think Fenris was fairly close. Sorry, buddy. You got the nat one. So you would just turn around and be like, I don't think it's anything. And then you turn back to the other side, and it's just behind you. It goes out of the dirt, rock and dust, and this creature just towering over you as it's arcing back up on these. It's very much like a centipede with all these pincery legs, and it's arcing back. It's just towering above you, and its mandibles just down towards you, and you're just getting right like 10 feet away. 10 feet away, right up in your grill there, Fenris. All right, what did everybody get for their initiative? Nice. And allow me. I like to keep the suspense going a little bit, so I'm going to roll some real dice. Old school. Carl was talking about rolling real dice, and I got super jealous. So I'm going to get my real dice out here. It's the big ones, just for fun. Oh wait, there's no D20 in there. Dear God, what am I doing without a D20? I'll just be rolling 12s all night. What? Okay. All right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it'll be the same. It's all good. All right. So, coming up at the top of the order, Darmida. Oh, I'm sorry. Now there's no...
Yaufen?
Thank you, Yaufen. I don't know what I would do without you. Yeah, get right up to the mic. No, I didn't hit a button, so you guys should be heard now.
Hello? Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
I know you can they?
Yeah, I see the feed now. We're good now. Sorry about that.
Good.
So I don't have a
Repeat
D20
all
in
of
front
the
of me.
Jokes from before.
Yeah, all the
Everyone
jokes,
remembers them,
just
right?
lip readers. Lip readers get them all. All right.
Has my carrier pigeon arrived yet?
Okay.
Oh, Todd.
Yeah, I'm gonna be rolling just like you guys, all for everybody to see, because I just rolled a nat 1 because I can't find a D20 and I feel naked right now. It's not.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah, that's all right.
Turn off your cam. You're gonna violate guidelines. What that joke? You know that joke. You know the punchline. I don't have to do it for you.
No, tell
All
me
right,
about that.
well-
Absolutely.
Are me just gonna go way out of scope here? Do something, you don't expect. So we'll be casting a 3rd level Hunter's Mark on this creature. And then, I know. And then, once I've done that, I'm gonna take 3 arrow shots.
What? All right, so make your rolls.
I know.
Darmida just turns and
Right,
just
so-
before you even finish your turn, there's an arrow notched and ready. It just. Ooh.
So that's 11.
And to hit or that damage? Oh no, the 24.
11 damage.
Yeah, 24 does hit and 11
I'm
damage.
assuming a 24 hit.
It does hit.
Second is a 14. Does that hit?
A 14 does not hit as
If
it just
not-
glances off of this
Then
the
I'm gonna.
chitinous lava, the hardened, crusty armor around it. I should have.
Then I'm going to use my Stalker's Fury and redo that roll
Absolutely.
because that's a thing,
That's the thing. That's a worse roll.
and that's a worse thing.
That's a 12.
So that's a 12. So that misses. So one more for good measure. What the fuck? What happened here?
And a 16.
Yeah.
You're just lacing this thing with arrows. 1, 2, 3, 4 arrows just streaking. The first one finds purchase, and all 3 of the others just shatter against its armor.
Yeah, it's important to remember that while a 12, 14, and 16 look pretty okay, on the die, that's a 1, 3, and a 5 because Darmida has a ridiculous bonus.
It's true. It's true.
It's
Rangers.
true. But I feel like at that point, Darmida would have a little mini tantrum. Yeah, that's a thing that she would do because she is not used to missing.
I don't remember. Did you take that custom feat that we talked about?
The rage one. The one lets you rage.
Did you take that?
Right.
It was the Berserker Ben Koom feat. It was
The
gonna.
Vancouver.
I don't remember if you took that or not. I have the stats for it here if you want it.
I think I did, but I think I put it down as as athlete.
Right. So here are the stats on that. If you choose to rage, it does take the bonus. That whole deal. You get 2 rages max a day. It's like a little dip into Berserker. You get +3 to your weapon damage. You get advantage on strength checks. You gain resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. At the end of it, you do gain a point of exhaustion. And you do need concentration checks to maintain or cast anything. That's a bit of a blend. And I am allowing this damage increase. I know this is a bit hand-wavy, but I am going to allow it on bows.
Yeah, it's a very special move. Not only can you just, as a thief, get Berserker stuff, it's like better because it's not restricted to strength based. It's really cool. It's a very cool ability.
And it's basically you get so mad, you just like Argh!
Power shot.
You know what? I'm gonna also add to this that if you roll a nat 1, there's a percentage chance you're gonna break your bowstring.
Now you gotta figure out what that means that it's broken. How long does it take to repair?
It just means it'll take a full action to restring.
Okay. So if you can, I don't know if you can add that to my character sheet instead of, because I think what
Instead
I had
of
done,
athlete,
we were talking about it, and I think I had taken athlete to make up for it, knowing that it was sort of a ragey thing.
Absolutely.
But if you can just maybe remove that and put in that instead, then I'll go from there.
Sure,
but
it won't.
I'll
It won't
rage.
automatically do it. So we'll just mentally do it this time. But yeah, I think you've got all those. All right. So you didn't get a chance to rage, unfortunately, but you were adding the Hunter's Mark anyway, so you couldn't do that. All right, we're gonna keep
but
on,
I feel like
keep
I
on.
would have raged at the end of the turn, or I would be raging into my next turn
You might
because
rage.
I missed.
Yeah, you're just
Like I'm kicking
this
the
is
ground.
and that's why I mentioned it because you said the tantrum's just like, and you're just kicking things in sight. In fact, Fenris is looking pretty squishy. Anyway, speaking of Fenris, what do you want to do?
Oh, I think that Fenris will actually, to be honest, would have a knee-jerk reaction and would just Misty Step out of there.
Fair enough.
So
And this thing might have reach anyway, so that's probably for the best. Because you are within 10 feet.
yeah, I mean, I would assume it would, but even if it didn't, I would probably just Misty Step, like out of a
Woo! Yep,
And,
that's fair.
if I was to see how far I can go, Misty Step again. 30 feet.
is it?
So
Yep, 30 feet. This thing hisses at you as you retreat. Well, as you bamf. And just for flavor, it goes to bite you, and the shadows just envelop you like mist, and you appear in a new swirl of black shadow, just untwisting next to the machine as you misty step back beside the infernal machine. But the little shadowy mist that was you a few seconds ago gets chomped by these mandibles. Just for flavor. All right.
Just for flavor.
Just for flavor.
So that was my
flavor.
bonus action.
Absolutely. What do you want to do?
With my action, I'm going to... I am going to firebolt it, and I'm going to use my transmutation to turn the damage into lightning.
Okay. All right. Go for it.
So it's a ranged attack.
If you roll any better than Darmida.
Let's see. $19.
19 hits as this you hold up your hand and it bursts into flame, and then you focus on it for a second, and this crackle just envelops this, and it's this I guess you took inspiration from the top of that volcano not too far away with the lightning and the flame, and then you just hurl this at the thing, and it hisses down at you, just and it blasts it right in the face. All right, roll for damage. It's not vulnerable to it or anything, but it does seem to take full damage from this, by the way.
Okay, so
Whereas-
it takes 8 points.
8 points of damage. Nice.
Just
As it
and then
hisses
with
and
my
the
move.
sparks arc across its mandibles and between them, and it's just it is not
And
pleased.
it's not happy.
No.
With my movement, I'm gonna actually just circle around.
Let's go further. All right,
Little
coming up.
bit in, right next to the
Coming up
scavenger.
next,
Get some-
Valerie, all the way up. And I mean up. You're a good 60, 70... Oh, no, I said 80 feet up in the air. And you're also, if I were to estimate, you're probably... depending on where you are. You're about 60 feet away from this thing, 55 feet away from its head, but up on the angle of 80 feet up. So, do the Pythagorean on that.
All right. I know. History major here, buds. Not anything close.
Internet,
enough.
we're going to need a Pythagorean theorem where one angle of the triangle is 55. That's the bottom, that's the leg, and the top. The other leg is going to be 80 feet. We need that diagonal. Go, Internet.
Might be super cute.
My brain is hurting. I'm going to take an action and go invisible.
All right.
That's a whole
And then I will, cloak shadows. Then I'll move 45 feet in a 45-degree angle.
Can I be awful here? Is that allowed?
Yeah.
Sure.
I would propose that this thing is producing a lot of light, and you can't do it.
If it was much closer, I would say it's about
It probably isn't producing light, honestly, right?
It's producing some.
Cold. Yeah. So
it produces
not
some, but it's not a ton. I'd say it's probably like a 10-foot glittering aura from the red, and then and along its back is a bluish tinge, as the spines that line its vertebrae base, where I know it's an invertebrate, but along where its vertebrae would be is this deep purple gold.
It doesn't have a
nice.
spine, really?
Well, it's an invertebrate creature. It's like a giant
That's
centipede.
cool. I just didn't know. I didn't know they were. Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. I haven't had a chance to dissect. I haven't had a chance to dissect the
I'll have to do
Magnum
that
or
when this is
Remores.
over, yeah.
When this is over, you're welcome to dissect it. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So where are you going there? Go ahead and move your character there, Valerie. On deck is Henrietta,
So,
because this thing rolled real bad.
I'll move here. So I went at 45-degree angle, 45 feet. So will we say like I'm at 50 feet up in the air, and how many feet? from the beast.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And we're still waiting on the internet to do this. I could do it, but I don't want to pause. So you're about 25 feet away from this thing, more or less, and but up on an angle. You're about 40 up in the air. Yeah. All right, that takes your turn. Are you going to do anything else? I guess that's it. You are invisible, sir.
That is it for now.
All right. So you look. Everyone looks around, and no one can see where your monk went. All right, coming up next, Henrietta.
Cool. So I see this like burst out of the ground and everyone react. I've already mounted prior to it coming out, so thumbs up.
Yeah, your steed is like, whoa.
I would like to see. So I've seen it move a bit, like not a ton. I felt the tremors. I did an okay perception check previously. Can I figure out how fast this is moving and like if it's actually a threat, or we could just leave?
It's pretty quick. It moves about the same speed as a person, so it would like.
Right,
I mean, if you can get on the
slow,
vehicle,
right? I'm on a horse.
Wait,
we've got people in the sky. People going to fly. I think this is good. The question is, can I just know that, or should I make a roll?
I'm on a horse. Sorry, I just love that ad.
Well, ancient by now.
Yeah, I'm ancient, so it's all good.
Fair enough. So can I just have deduced that, or should I make a roll?
No, you can just deduce, like, if you wanted to bolt in your horse, you can get away, and if the vehicle was working properly, it could get away pretty easily, but it did have that problem with it, and this thing is danger close.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna call out, like, I think if we just keep moving, we should be able to get out of here. Flergix seems to already be gone. Darmida, you got yourself? And I'm going to try and get over to where Fenris is and see if he wants to get on the back of a horse.
Oh, okay.
So, I don't know if he's going to accept,
hey,
but I will do a little bit.
Uncanny Tree, if you want to break out the math major, I would not mind at all. I've got the beginning of it here. It's pretty straightforward Pythagorean theorem stuff going on, but yeah, you can redeem that. I'd love to.
So if I reach out to Fenris, will he accept or not?
Yeah, you can. It's up to you, Fenris.
You're muted. Muted.
Sorry. I just kind of look up at him quizzically. Like, and then just kind of...
Oh, at Henrietta? Yep.
Yeah, just like, or her, quizzically, and then kind of like look back at the big, humongous monster.
All right. And does not accept the hand.
We could just... Hey.
I just like, I would probably take an action to reach out my hand and get up. I just kind of look up like, huh? And I just kind of like look back.
Well, technically, it would be Henrietta using her action to pull you up on the horse if you want to allow it or not. It wouldn't take any part on yours. You can refuse or you can accept. That's more of a choice on your part. But the action would be hers to spend.
Yeah. So I put up my hand and you're like, what? And I'm
what?
I'm getting flashbacks to
what
episode 1.
What are we slowing down for?
Like, what?
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, we have places to be, right? What are we slowing down for?
You have to free up the vehicle. We can't all ride your horse.
All right, and that's your turn. That was 6 seconds.
Agree.
My turn.
All right, and I'm getting flashbacks to episode 1. Seriously. All right. Okay, so coming up to the top of the... Oh, actually, its turn. Well, there's only one thing that it can see right now, and that is Darmida. So it just goes lurching forward like its whole back writhes. 97.08 feet. Thanks very much, Uncanny Tree. That's right, it's Dungeons and Math. That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Flergix just pauses in midair and checks the math.
Yeah. 4 square root. Damn it, square root. I actually found a neat trick for square roots, but anyway, we'll come back to that later. And thanks for breaking out the math major. See, I know all of us sitting here, me with my theater degree. You never thought you'd ever use your math major, but you just got a chance to use your math major. Congratulations. See, you can tell your parents that it led somewhere. Just joking. Anywho.
He's mostly theoretical math. That's my brother.
Oh, okay.
Imaginary numbers and stuff. It's not real math.
Coming up next, we're gonna... Just one sec. I need to figure something out. Okay. Well, that's good news for you. All right, so this massive insectine creature rears up and does the whole body pulse thing to move forward. The multitude of legs just scratching along this. Never took algebra. It's all good. Scratching along the ground as it pulls itself in range of Darmida and just goes down for the bite. Oh, that is not a great roll. But it's got a mod. Does 21 hit your AC, Darmida? Ooh. I rolled a 9.
It does. I don't think so. Just mechanically speaking, I was kind of pre-raging, I suppose. I haven't finished raging, right?
No, you can kick that in next turn, but unfortunately you use the bonus action to...
It's not going to be doing bludgeoning damage anyway, it's okay.
So, this thing's massive mandibles just catch you right in the sides, and it's now it's surrounding you. I'm going to need you to...
do something.
It is...
I can't see this.
You're going to take 40, that's 40 piercing damage, and 10 points of cold damage on top of that, as Darmida is nearly just eviscerated by these two massive mandibles just clenching her, and it hefts her up into the air. You're now 10 feet up in the air. I'm going to need you to do, you just are grappled. It's got you grappled, and until this grapple ends, you are considered restrained, but it can't bite anybody else, so that's good news.
Oh, well, good. I mean, let me be the frickin' sacrificial frickin' lamb. Thanks, everybody, for running.
All right.
They hear me just screech out.
Oh, yeah.
Not a common occurrence for her.
That hurt must... Ow. 50 damage?
Yeah. It is a very huge, monstrous, terrifying creature. And it's got her in its mandibles. All right.
That's half your hit points? Oh, you have a lot
almost.
Of hit points. Right, you have a high constitution. Of course you do.
Wow, Ranger. They're pretty good. All right, coming up next, top of the order, Darmida, it is your turn. You are grappled and restrained in its mouth. And it's like raising you up. It's in the action of tossing you up into the air, basically.
So I can't really do anything but try to get out.
Yep, you can try to escape. You can there is something else you were mentioning you were about to do.
Right. I mean, I will bonus action. Use my I will rage. This is wild. A freaking ranger raging. That's awesome.
So Darmida lets out this scream. And at first it sounds in her high-pitched voice, and maybe it's a trick of the wind, maybe it's this creature or something. You hear it, it's almost like something else is screaming with her. This loud, low male voice, just almost this dual tone coming out of her mouth as her eyes roll back in her head, and she just lets out this very reminiscent of a lost friend of yours. You are raging. Now what do you want to do? That was your bonus.
So I'm not really familiar. I know you said it all, but it didn't stay. So I'm just going to try to break the grapple.
Sure thing. Go ahead and make either athletics or acrobatics. And
I'll do acrobatics.
Acrobatics is dex-based, but a little side note. If you choose to do the athletics, which is strength-based, you will have advantage. because of this new feat of yours. Advantage on strength checks. It's your call.
It's a tough one because I have no mod on that.
It is your call.
So
Can't all be gravy.
yeah, I know. I think I'm gonna try to wiggle my way out.
Sure thing.
So 12.
Unfortunately, you just brace you can't, it keeps slipping, and so you can't get a great purchase against this thing as it's basically hefting you up and down. You're like, whoa, whoa, very ragdoll in its hands. Or in its mouth, rather. All right. I think that's it.
I'm gonna scream out to everybody else. Get back here, you cowards, and help me.
All right. She's going to shame them into working. All right, coming up next, we have Fenris. What do you want to do, Fenris?
Well, I see this happen.
Oh yeah, it lifted up, right? How high is she?
She's about 10 feet in the air right now.
Okay, how big is the bus?
The bus is probably about total 15 feet high, maybe 10, 15 feet high.
So we can't see this. Cool. Thanks.
Well, it's not
we can
uniform,
hear it,
though.
Obviously.
No,
we can
not
hear
only
it,
that,
yeah.
but only parts of the bus are actually that
Yeah,
high.
like-
Kind of the winchy bit is 15. Most of the platform is between 10 and 8. As you can see, it's kind of sloped and irregular. So if you kind of move your head to the side, and you're up on a horse, so you can see. Fenris might have some trouble seeing, but you can definitely see.
Okay. Anyways, just gonna squeeze a little bit by him on his horse, and so now I see this situation,
Mm-hmm.
and I just kind of
You just see blood just pouring down her legs, just soaking, dripping into the ground.
I am going to bonus action Houndeville Omen.
Nice. Drop your hound. The shadows coalesce behind this thing and into the familiar shape of your wolf, made entirely out of misty shadows.
Yeah,
It's
right next to
tiny
its
them.
back end part of it, I
Sure.
guess. But
It
It still
curves
counts,
around
I
like
guess,
that.
but-
Yeah, absolutely.
curves around. Okay.
It's massive. In fact, at
Um,
that point, it's kind of bursting out of the ground at that point, so you kind of perch it where it's leaving the ground, because it's part of it is still submerged in this tunnel that it dug.
Okay. And I am going to. I feel like the shadows kind of well up within me, and I'm going to cast a very familiar spell that I haven't cast in a long while. But this time it can affect other things, and I cast Hold Monster.
Nice. Old monster. Very cool. And thank you, Yefan. I appreciate that.
So I don't know if it's resistant to spells or not. If it's not, it's disadvantage. It's a Wisdom saving throw.
It is disadvantage. I'll take the 7, and it's a wisdom save.
Wisdom save. DC 17, sir. 'Cause I don't think telekinesis is going to work on that thing.
That
It's big and strong.
straight up 7 is not going to hold it. So yeah, the whole thing just freezes, and you can see the outer layer of this thing begin to darken, and some of the brilliant red begins to fade and the steam is just coming off. It's almost like from the blue of its spine is cooling everything off very quickly, and so it's becoming very stone-like.
So it's just kind of like reaching up, and like the shadows are just wrapping around it, holding it. And I just save through gritted teeth next to the others. Get her out of there.
The whole
And
thing is just
finish it.
thrumming with this pulsing magic, almost like this.
So it's kind of almost like a growl that I say to the others,
Yeah.
and that would be my turn. And it is
Nice.
paralyzed.
Nice. All right. That was clutch, man. All right, Flergix, you are up.
All right, I swoop down just a little bit over here. I ready the Javelin of Lightning, and I throw it down at its tail.
Nice, go for it. You pin cushion this thing. Go for it. And by the way,
Hold
you
on a
managed to
second.
be about 45, you're about 45 feet away from it. But you now move, so you can move wherever you need to.
Just so you know, Direwolf has a 16 initiative.
Thank you.
Alright, so let's hope it hits. 22.
22 hits, absolutely. And you did have advantage on that, so it's actually 23. This thing is paralyzed,
Alright.
and you're invisible. Although you're no longer invisible.
No longer. So,
It's a bit bizarre as Valerie suddenly bursts into vision, like the wings just, all you see is this flap of wings and this crackle of lightning. Just the whole area just flickers brilliantly for a second in this bluish white light, and then the whole thing just slams down into the back of this creature. The lightning does. Do you remember how much?
It's a DC 13 Dex save.
It
and it'll be
fails.
It fails automatically because it's paralyzed.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's a 4d6.
Go for it.
Not too bad.
Nice.
Not too bad.
Not too bad. 17, and it does take full damage. It doesn't seem resistant in any way.
So it's takes the damage from the javelin plus 46 lightning damage.
Yeah,
Let me
so you can
for
roll.
Javelin.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's another D6 if I remember correctly.
Oh, hold on. Never mind. Whatever. 1d8
Oh, it's a
plus
D8.
4 is 8.
Nice. Okay, so it takes
Yeah,
another
so-
8. Nice.
So 25 total.
Cool.
Very cool. All right, so this thing is definitely just sitting still, and the javelin is embedded in its back, and just all these sparks.
Remind me
flying
to pick
across
it
its back.
up.
Absolutely. All right. Yeah, I think you do have a bonus action if you want it.
Yeah, but most of my bonus action requires key point that.
If you want to save it, you don't have to do anything.
Yeah, I'll save it.
All right. Cool. Coming up next, Wolf, then Henrietta.
Okay. Wolf is going to take a bite out of its tail.
Sure thing.
So it's a 5 to hit. So I guess it rolls with advantage.
It does.
First roll's a
17 just hits. It's really tough armor, but it has to gnaw a couple times, but the last bite does get through and find purchase. And the wolf is just like, and it's actually experiencing incredible cold on its mouth. It doesn't. Actually, hold on. Wolf hit it with a melee attack, right? So
Correct.
the wolf is going to take 10 points of cold damage.
Okay. So that takes the 6 temporary hit points it has plus 4. So he's wounded a bit.
Yeah. And the
Okay.
face of your wolf just frosts over from the intense cold radiating from within this creature. It's a strange
Okay.
blend of cold and fire and magma. All right,
Okay.
coming up next.
So hold on there. It does damage,
okay.
right?
Yes, it does.
Or
Sorry.
no.
Roll
Critical
that
hit.
there damage there.
Roll that damage. So it's going to roll 46 because it's a crit.
Woo. Yeah.
And
Oh, that's right, because it is restrained. Or paralyzed, rather.
paralyze. Ooh, not great, but does 10 damage.
Nice.
And since the target's a creature, it must succeed on a DC 13 strength saving throw or be knocked prone.
Does that work on things this large?
Doesn't say
It might
any
be kind
size.
of funny if it did.
'Cause I
Doesn't
think it
say any
does.
size. If you want to double check
I
that,
rolled a
it
2.
can't roll because it's an auto fail. by
I
the
know.
way,
I
'cause
gave
it's
it the roll
paralyzed.
because it's so big, but basically your wolf just grabs it and is just clawing backwards and manages to drag it a little bit. So it's
It's interesting.
it does
I didn't
manage
even know
to
this. I
fall
was reading
prone
it, I'm like,
somehow.
There's no size
And
restriction.
basically your wolf is I'll give you this. You pull it out of its cave, and it's just like pulling it backwards just about 5 feet, and it doesn't really. I mean, it's already against the ground, so a couple of its legs kind of collapses. It's kind of like falling a little bit over, and let's just say Darmida is now only 5 feet up in the air. This thing is huge, so literally huge. All right, so that's Wolf's turn. Henrietta.
Cool. So when Darmida first calls out, we see Henrietta look over to it and just rear the horse to turn around. He trots over there, and I think we see her getting up on the back of the horse as it's traveling to then jump and grab her, which ends up not being as relevant now that they're prone. But she didn't know that when she started moving.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we see her stand up and jump off and grab her, and that's probably a whole action, right? Because it's breaking a grapple or breaking a restraint.
So you're basically breaking the restraint on her behalf. So you hit the mandible and you kind of wedge one arm and you're just trying to pry this thing out of her side, and it is embedded a good 6 inches into her sides. Let's hope you didn't need those kidneys. All right. So go ahead and make a athletics check to try and break the hold. It is.
I'd love to.
This thing is going to be resisting with. Actually, I'm going to give you advantage. Is how this is going to work.
Cool. I love it when I'm given advantage after I've rolled.
Oh, I didn't even see that. But yeah, 24 beats the 17 required. So absolutely. The 13 wouldn't have. So, if that matters. So you managed to just pull the mandible back a little bit, and it is super chilled. I'm going to say that touches the you do touch it. So you're going to have to you're going to take 10 points of cold damage from just emanating chill coming from this as your hands almost freeze on contact. So you take 10 points of cold.
Right?
And that does take your action. You do still have a bonus and a bit more move if you want.
Yeah, I will basically try to land back on my horse. I jump off and grab her and then try and land on the horse. I'm all right.
So you kind of extend one foot and let out a whistle. And this bardic whistle, and the horse responds. Is super well trained and steps right in next to you.
Creature. It's
Absolutely.
got intelligence.
It kind of nuzzles up in next to you. You get your foot finds purchase on the saddle, or is it riding bareback? I'm not sure, but you get on its back, and you can then drop back onto this as the. I will even say that you've managed to grab Darmida under one arm.
Yeah, that's the intent, to get her onto the horse, and I will I will say, we're leaving now, and I'm going to leave.
All right, now you've used most... Well, you used 30 movement to get there, and you're now carrying Darmida, so there's going to be half speed remaining.
Okay, cool. I have.
Just remember, you have horseshoes of speed, right?
That's true. I also have horseshoes of speed. I didn't even think about that. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
You're welcome. It was a gift.
I should have had a scene in the Oasis. I totally forgot about it. That's a shame. Let's flash back to that. Ding, 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 ding. There we go. Good as new.
You ask Zeet if Zeet has a hammer, and it's like,
the master has no need for hammers. Use a rock.
All right.
So I don't know how much speed that gives me, but I will use the remainder of it.
That's going to be a lot.
I won't use the remainder of it. Everyone is waiting around.
Absolutely.
Turn order is a thing in this game.
Yeah. So you can definitely take Darmida and get probably 60 feet.
Yeah, I mean, if I can't move Fenris with me, I really shouldn't. That's how we got into this mess in the first place.
All right, well, you can pull even with him if you'd like. It's up to you.
Yeah, I think it's probably more accurate, because I want to be... I want to be able to intercept any attack.
Okay.
In the left Darmida. I'm feeling bad about it.
Okay, that's fair.
I was like, she's shot boots of speed. She should be, or flying. She should be fine. And then it's like, oh well.
Not if she's being torn apart.
That's a thing that D&D characters think about.
Yep. All right. Coming up next is the Magma Remoraz. I think that's how it's pronounced. And this thing is paralyzed, so it gets a save.
At disadvantage.
At disadvantage. Oh, because of the wolf. I forgot about that.
Yes, the wolf. Yeah.
Oh, this is not going to go well. Oh, nat one. This thing is just locked into place. All right, Henrietta pulls up next to you, and you see Henrietta looking down at you from on top of this quite sizable celestial horse, holding a still bleeding Darmida. You see Valerie flying behind this creature, and your wolf just, against all odds, dragging this thing, slowing it ever so slightly backwards. All right, top of the order, if it matters. Darmida, would you want to do anything?
Yes.
Oh,
I
do me a
feel like
favor.
Darmida...
I'm going to need 2 concentration saves from you.
Oh, okay.
Narratively, I'll say I'm like going to heal you, but I don't have the action, so I didn't last turn.
12 and 22.
Oh yeah, you're fine. So you've managed to keep your hunter's mark up just.
I mean, that's not how that works, but I appreciate your benevolence.
Well, no, the
It's half
22.
of the damage taken.
Well, the 22 was for that. The first one was for her going into a rage.
Okay.
Because the rage,
Let's have a
I'm ruling that. I know a lot of times rage causes you to drop concentration. In this case, I'm just making it difficult for you.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
And the 22 was about half the damage. So actually, you know what? Strictly speaking, I think you did drop your concentration because you had 50 damage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
25 would be half.
25 would be half. So the 22
Yeah.
is not quite enough.
So I gotta beat 25?
You'd have to
Okay.
beat 25. So the concentration fails on your hunter's mark.
Alright. Oh, she's pissed. God
Yeah.
damn it. She would basically tell
Yeah, you could yell at me.
him to let her down. Like, I would kind of squirm out of his hands. Or, sorry, out of her hands, out of Hen's hands. And,
Is
it
Hen
bonus
going to let
action
you
to-
drop, or is Hen going to maintain the grapple?
I
Well-
didn't make a grapple check against her. Like,
I
don't have
know,
that
but
ability,
you are
right?
quite strong, and grappling is your thing. I did say you've
True.
got her in one hand, so you have the choice right now. Are you going to make this? Are you going to let her down, or are you going to drag her back?
I will let her do what she wishes to do.
All right. So she tumbles to the ground
got
and
autonomy over my body.
yep, you
Yeah.
land on the
Um.
ground. The blood, like you were just seeping blood from your wounds on both sides, and it's starting to thaw. It was around the edges of the wounds. It was frozen solid, but now
Right.
it's starting to thaw, and the blood is just pouring down over both hips and down into the dirt as you land in this like 3-point stance, bow in one hand. Now, what do you
Yeah.
want to do?
Yeah,
It
the horse,
doesn't say,
rears, and I
but-
have to like stop and like be like, "Whoa, okay, there's a thing happening." Yeah.
For the boots, it doesn't really say whether or not it's a bonus action.
Most magic
action
items,
to
unless it says
activate them?
otherwise, is going to be an action.
It's an action?
Usually, yeah.
Okay.
Unless it
I'm-
says otherwise.
It doesn't say anything at all.
Okay, so I would say it's
in the
just
past,
it's
I
an
don't
action.
think we've ever.
It's never been this tight
stated.
for time. Yeah,
Yeah, it usually hasn't been really combat. Stuff.
Yeah. So I'm
you have to
going
kind of activate them.
Yeah, I'll activate the boots.
Yeah, I mean, what
And-
I'm reading just says when you wear these boots, you have a flying speed. That's what it says in what I'm reading.
They do have to be activated though, and activating a magic item takes a turn unless otherwise said. As far as I know.
Okay.
So you kind of bend
All right,
down, and
so-
you're bent down anyways. Just brush your hand over the inlaid wings embossed in the sides of and ankles of these boots, and the wings just wake themselves up and pull away from the edges, just attached on each ankle, and begin to flutter. You have a fly speed.
And then I'm just gonna look at Fenris and ask, we slay this thing now,
Yeah.
or do we run? I want to
Kill.
slay it.
Kill it.
And
You,
so
you
then
look at this
I will
thing, and it
move.
doesn't look very
Like gritting
damaged.
it. Yeah, like I'm just gritting it, and I'm like, kill it to everyone.
All right. So at that point, I'm going to fly 15 feet up.
All right.
How much over it does it put me?
Pretty much eye to eye with this thing. If you want to be above it,
And
you're
I'm
gonna
gonna-
have to keep going.
I'm going to go 30.
All right. So
Yeah, I'll go 30 feet up.
you
just-
go from the 3-point stance. You look up at Fenris, have this conversation, and then leap into the air, just straight up.
And I'm going to bonus action use a first level hunter's mark.
Nice.
That's it.
I just put
And
a
I'm
little.
guessing do I lose my rage at that point?
Not with this custom thing, right? This is a
Well, no, it's a bit like a barbarian. So if you don't attack or take damage, you would lose. So if you get damaged before the end of this round, it stays up.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, you can go let it bite you if you want to. Eh? No? Okay. All right, so you leap into the air and you just bring your bow with you and just look at this thing. Seems like your rage has probably dropped, but we'll see. We'll see at the end of the round. All right, coming up next, we have...
wait. Did she not get an attack? Did I miss something?
she spent her action to do the boots.
Oh, right. That's a
Yeah.
thing that
Yeah.
you said.
All right, coming up next, we got... that was Darmida. Fenris.
Okay. So I'm holding it. That kind of restricts some of my other spells. You know what? How far away am I from it? Roughly not
20
that
feet?
far. 20
25?
feet? Okay. Yeah. From my position where I'm at right now, seeing that Darmida is kind of lining herself up to attack it, and it's not that damaged as from what I see, right?
It doesn't... I mean, it's taken some damage, but it looks pretty robust.
Pretty robust. Okay. I am going to... already using up some nice spells, but whatever. I'm going to cast Blight.
Nice. All right, what's the save?
It's a con save at disadvantage.
Right. It is pretty constitutional, but at disadvantage can help. Oh, especially when I roll another nat 1.
Nat
a
1.
1 and an
Very
18.
good.
That's
That
a
18 would've
6
passed.
total, so that fails. So
Okie dokie then.
go ahead and roll your damage for your blight.
Okay, so with one hand, like I'm still holding on to it, and then as people see, I kind of reach out with the other hand, and I just kind of wave out, and people see kind of like shadows coalesce into the familiar form of a wolf's head, and it just snaps over it, and just kind of washes
Like
over
an
it. And,
oversized.
People, and similar to like what happened to that giant way back in the day with I first met Ben Coom. How it just kind of like rolls over it and starts to ash it. So it will take 8d8 damage. Okay, and why not? I'm going to spend a sorcery point to make it.
Are you going to re-roll the 1 and the 2?
I'm going to re-roll the 1, 2, and 3.
Nice.
Okay. Okay. So that's
+4.
Yep. So 38 plus 4 is going to bring it up to 42 damage. Nice. Well, in a round, you just doubled how badly it was hurt. Just saying.
hey, you know.
So the shadows just claw in, seeping any kind of break in its armor, and even the glow along its back kind of fades a little bit, just a hint, as this damage seeps underneath its armor and into its body, and the whole thing convulses involuntarily. All right, it is still looking pretty robust, even with that. All right, coming up next. Do you want to do anything else, Fenris, or are you good? Just to be clear, by the way, that infernal machine does still work. It makes a horrible racket as you drive, and it's at half speed, but you can make it move, and it does travel relatively quickly. At least it might take damage from driving around this way, but it does technically move.
Fenris is pretty committed right now.
Yeah.
He doesn't rage, but he's just, seeing what happened to Darmida. Like, he got out of the way and he sees what's going on. He's just like, and he sees kind of like other people. He's just like, what? And just was like, he's kind of reacting, and he's in pretty much murder-kill mode.
Fenris does have 2 modes. Murder, kill, and that other one that we don't see much.
It's like, people are like, what? Can we run away? Like, no. We kill.
Okay, to be fair, people means just Henrietta here.
No, to be fair, I asked.
Yep.
Did you want to run?
She
I don't remember
Just, I said, no, kill it. Let's
I
shoot
didn't
it.
want to run, but I was deferring to who I perceived to be the leader.
Fair
So
enough, yeah.
There you go. All right, coming up next, Valerie.
All right, I shall move around here. I'm like, hey.
All right, so you kind of
Sounds
clock
pretty cool.
it clockwise around the back end of it there.
Looks pretty cool as ice. Hey, it's a good time to try one of these little beads of fireball.
All right.
So,
this
I'm
is a
gonna aim it
strange
for-
creature of a blend of fire and ice by the look of things. But anyway, keep going.
yeah, well,
Never tried
I
the
don't-
beads before.
no, I think we'll see where it goes. So, it's a 20 foot, right? If I'm not mistaken. So I
Yep.
don't want to hit the hound. So I'm gonna try and hit it around here.
All right. So you pull out these beads that you've managed to pull off of a warlock's corpse buried in a crypt of the Hell Riders. Some kind of bead. It was right in the pelvis. You don't know what they were doing there, but anyway, you pull that out. You pull out one of these these beads. It's clear glass, but it's warm to the touch, and there's this swirling flame on the inside. You whip it, and
I'll take the smallest bead because apparently they keep going up in size.
it's
So
true.
I'll take the smallest bead and throw it out.
The more you know. Anyway,
All right, so Dex 15.
Do they actually do extra damage for each one? Because that would be a really good home roll.
Yes, it does. If I use more than one at a time, it increases in
Holy
level. But
crap, that is such a... Wow. Oh, wait.
given that I don't know what's gonna do, if it's immune to it or not, I'm only using one.
all right.
So it's a Dex 15.
It automatically
All right.
fail.
It automatically fails, so go ahead,
Okay.
and it takes 31
Oh,
points of
it's,
damage, except it's halved, so it's only 16. It's immune to fire and cold.
Immune.
Yes,
Sorry, not immune. Oh, hold on.
Immune, it takes nothing.
It's immune. The fireball just slams.
Is that macro right? It says 31 plus 1d0. What?
Yeah, it might not be doing the math right on Roll20, but that's okay.
It's not
still
relevant right now,
Yeah.
but... Yeah.
The fireball bursts behind this thing with this satisfying explosion, just and this rock and dust and ash, and the scorch mark goes across the armor of this thing, and you look at it to see how badly. God damn it! It had no effect on it other than just scoring the outside of it with black marks. Sorry, bro. It's immune to fire and cold.
Oh, I got 8 more charges left.
It was a good try. It was a really good try. That was well done to bust that out, but unfortunately it had no effect. All right. You still have quite a bit of movement left if you want, and a bonus action if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I'll probably move closer to back here then.
Oh, further away from us. Cool. It's probably good. It's gonna do an AoE attack, I'm sure. That'll be fun. I'm excited for that.
Well, as soon as it's not paralyzed.
Good point.
I would love to share your optimism, but I'm over here.
Oh.
It is
Okay.
paralyzed, though.
So-
Just pointing out, this thing hasn't moved since Fenris's shadows started grappling it. That javelin lightning did have effect, and it is just sitting there and it's embedded in its back, it's pretty close to where you are. If you wanted to retrieve that, I would say that's a move and a bonus. I'd allow that.
All right.
As the monk
javelin?
basically goes past and grabs it on the way by.
Sure.
I will say this. Everyone else who's touched this thing has taken cold damage. Your call.
I'll risk it.
All right, so you go flying down, grab this javelin, and yank it free, and you're like, yes! And then your hands are literally stuck to this frozen javelin, and you pry it off and just leave a couple of layers of skin and blood behind as you're like, oh! You take 10 cold damage. Yeah. Sorry, bro. It was right in its spine, right in the cold spot. Well, not that it has a spine. I think we established that. That's canon now.
Yeah, it's too bad that they won't be lightning in again until dawn.
Oh, it's only got the one shot till dawn? I didn't know that.
Yep.
Oh, well, at least you
It's
didn't
alright.
lose it.
It's still a ranged attack.
Absolutely. All right, coming up next, we've got Woof.
Wolf is going to bite it again.
All right, make your roll.
Okay.
With advantage.
Yeah.
Mhm.
First one is a 13.
It just can't get through the armor. Nat
Oh!
20. The nat
Already gonna
20
critical anyways.
does get through the armor. However, don't forget to take the 10 points of cold damage as this thing makes contact and just
24 hit points.
freezes on contact. Go ahead and roll damage as it is the crit. That wolf is doing a lot this fight.
You know? Ooh! 19 damage.
Damn, the wolf is doing
Wow.
better than a lot of
Wolf
you.
is like pulling his weight. 29 damage total.
Wow.
Like from the previous
From the
attack
previous
was
one
10.
too. Absolutely. All
19
right, so
damage.
nice
Oh.
job, wolf. This is just like and just pulling parts. It actually grabs one of its legs as its leg is just gonna grab that, and it just tears it off like it's gonna be a bone that this thing gets to chew on later. It's got like 100 other legs, but it does do a significant chunk of damage. All right, coming up next, Henrietta. You have
Cool.
managed to free Darmida, who promptly wiggled out of your grasp. You are
Yeah.
still on your
So
horse.
probably too, I was heading in one direction, so as I turn around, I probably end up going sort of in a circle like this.
Yeah.
And as I'm rotating around, I'm just looking back, what are we waiting for? What who are you showing off for? This is a waste for all of us here. We could leave. But I
Henrietta,
will
do a
be
perception
casting-
check for me.
Sure.
This one's for free. You
Um,
don't have to. It's based on what you said.
Cool. But I will be casting Aid, which heals everyone in a 30-foot radius from me. So sorry, flyboy girl.
You are almost 10 feet up in the air on the back of your horse, though. So she is actually within 30 feet of you.
I don't.
Oh, not
If I have
Falerie.
advantage, I'll take 21. But I don't think I have advantage, though.
You don't have advantage. It's okay.
Yeah, are far away.
Yeah, the Falerie can't get it, but everybody else, not the wolf, but everybody else get. Oh, actually, the wolf is 30 feet from you. So yeah,
Oh,
even
yeah, I
the
can heal
wolf,
the wolf too, totally.
if the wolf
Um,
can be healed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I
Okay.
couldn't. So I will use Aid. Aid
Nice.
is my favorite healing spell. No one ever uses it. It's really fun.
It's a good one.
I don't.
It's
can
not
I
touch,
actually?
right?
I probably can.
30 feet.
No,
Okay.
it is
Nice.
ranged, which means it's an alternative to that other spell that everyone uses.
Cure the wounds.
So I'll be casting this at 5th level, which should heal everyone 20, I believe, and increase their max HP by 20. So if you're max, you still get benefit.
Nice. So,
Um,
and Fenris, you have 20 points above your regular hit points if you haven't taken anything.
It's
now.
choose up to 3 creatures within range. I don't think I really need it. So yeah, sure, I'll heal Wolf. Why not?
All right. You're not going to be healing your
hold on,
horse,
you
though.
healed it for 20? And it
yeah,
has a
and
max-
increases its max HP by 20. So it can use all of those hit points. Yeah.
Great, so it's back up to full, and it has
so are
20
you.
on top of that.
No,
Ooh, yeah.
well, if it was
yeah,
20
increase its max
down,
by 20. Yeah, if it was at full health, it would just go up to 20 above its health, but it's not. So
Oh, I see. So it's at 44 now.
And
Okay,
you would
that
also
sounds
be
right.
20 above at the moment.
Well,
And
I took
Darmida.
a point of hit. I took a point of damage. So.
Oh, that's right.
But,
The succubus ear piercing.
it's been a while since I got hurt, but yeah.
And I would like to use inspiration on Darmida
Nice.
as a bonus action.
Darmida, you get a D. What is it? D8, D10.
Oh, it should be D8 for me. Yeah.
Nice. All right.
And of course, you're going to use this to do the opposite of what I'm asking you, but that's not how the game works, so it's cool. So I'm like trying to rally everyone, being like, "We should go. This is a waste of time. This is a waste of like magical resources. Blah blah blah." Right? I'm not going to talk in game terms, obviously, but you know, I'm trying to state my case.
Absolutely.
Is what
All right.
the rating is all about.
And it's not so much
so I need to
what you
mark
say,
down.
it's the way that you say it. That so it's like, we should go. We really shouldn't be here. We should do this, but it comes out sounding like, get them. You will accomplish what your goals are. Think positive.
Right, totally. Totally.
You can
Also, I
do
probably
it.
win
We probably
that,
shouldn't.
perception.
We should go. Murderate, but don't. All right, that's Henrietta. All right.
Oh, crap. Is there a way to get that back?
Oh, god damn it. I cannot get a break. I have this really cool monster and I want to murderate you all.
Oh, yeah.
I
You
keep
never
got a good
failing
bite
the
in.
saves. A
Oh,
3 and a 5 is just not going to cut it. Gotta get a
I
17.
feel for you.
Oh,
That's what GMing's all about. Yeah.
it's okay. You still take damage on melee touches, so it's okay. It's all good. All right, DMs, you know my pain. You know. All right, coming at top of the order, Darmida.
So, first order of business, my short-lived rage that did fucking nothing. I'm just pointing that out. It did nothing at all to help me,
It would have if it was
but
a
it
few
did give
seconds
me
prior.
a point of exhaustion. This thing, it did do that. So
I
that's
think that could
done.
kick in after the fight. That would be my recommendation to our fine GM here.
His call. But I would say that that's what it does. I
Do
mean,
me
what
a
we're doing
favor, roll a
mechanically.
d6.
Narratively, you haven't stopped raging, right? Like, like
A D6. Now I get the goddamn 6.
There it
And
is.
that's
So
probably
this will
bad in this case.
you will not experience the exhaustion until the d6 rounds goes by. So you get a full 6 rounds before you're like, ow, I bit my
Gotcha.
tongue really badly.
So I've
That's why I was
already
grinding
bonus
my
action.
teeth flat. All right, go for it.
Yeah, I've already bonus action before to do the thing.
It's a new round, though,
I'm
so you
not
have
doing a raid.
you do still have a bonus.
No, but I mean
Oh.
the target is still up,
Right.
so I'm just going to take my first hit. I'm going to use a luck.
It is with advantage already because it is paralyzed. So go ahead and roll again.
Right.
It's also prone, though.
My bad.
okay,
It's so big, it's not really prone.
All right.
21.
I mean, it was dragged back a few feet. 21 hits and finds a opening in its.
The question,
thick
though,
hide.
is because as I re-rolled, it
I'll take-
redid the damage. My first damage was 11.
I'll take the 11.
So can I? And then plus the d6, so that's 15. This time I'll roll proper. I
Okay.
forgot that I had the advantage.
Yeah. First strike.
Um,
Ooh, 26
So-
hits.
That's 26 for 7 and another 3, so 11.
Nice. All right. The
So-
arrows are finally getting in there, and the thing is now starting to look a little bit rough. As you see it's as you hit this thing, it seeps, and instead of blood, you see this orangey, liquidy, like superheated liquid start to just pour out of its wounds. And it's depending on where you hit it, it either bleeds magma or when the second shot managed to hit
ice.
it right in that thing, and it just this almost like escapes as steam, like just super chilled. Yeah,
And I moved.
500 degree molten tang, exactly. But when she hits the blue part of its spine, it releases this super chilled air, and in the heat of the Avernus, it just comes out as like really, really cold steam, like frost kind of. It's a very strange creature. All right.
I love armor houses. They're so cool.
Yeah. And just so you know, I don't know if you heard me, but I also moved so that I wasn't
Right in front of the thing.
all piled up.
Fair enough.
And I wanted to be a little bit more behind it, so
Sure.
maybe it doesn't see me.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, so you go a little bit of
Maybe
ways.
it's focused on the Hound of Ill Omen.
Well, it might be. We'll see. It can't move at all yet, so we'll see what happens. All right, Fenris.
Yeah,
And
so it's finally starting to really look wounded, huh?
It's looking a little rough now. It's below half.
Okay. I am going to. Already spent a few spells. I don't want to have to I'm hoping it can get finished off. So I'm going to firebolt it, and I'm going to turn it into lightning.
Okay, go ahead. Make your roll with advantage.
Okay.
Warrior's
roll
drink. That it is.
is not good.
500 degree molten tang. Yeah, it's hair on your chest.
Second roll's better. 18. I think that
18
hits.
does hit.
So it will take
This lightning infused
18
flame
points
just
of
slams into
lightning
its face.
damage.
18 points, nice.
Just been just you see kind of the orb of flame, and it just starts to crackle with lightning. It just shoots out again and hits it again.
Yeah, and it hits it right in his face. And like, if it could wince and move its eye, but instead it just takes it, and it's just like, you hear this.
I love it when I hear stuff like that.
Sorry, I'm sure that sounded wonderful on the microphones.
No, it sounded like nothing at all.
Oh, really? Weird.
Well, on Discord, I don't know what it sounded like on the stream.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, next up, Wolf.
Wolf.
Oh, I'm
Wolf
sorry,
is gonna do what Wolf-
Valerie.
Oh, Valerie. Yeah.
Then Wolf.
So, having experienced the cold, like touching it, I'm like, if I do a flurry of blows, that means I'm gonna take that much damage each time I hit it.
Probably.
So, yeah. So I'm just gonna throw that javelin, even though it's not lightning.
That's fair.
I'm still going to throw it.
Cool.
Do I have advantage with it?
You do.
Yes, you
Yeah.
do. It's incapacitated.
Then nat 20.
Nice. All right. So
So-
roll just a d8 plus your dex, and add 1 to it as well, because it's a magic weapon.
So just 1d8? And
One
then it doubles
D8.
the score?
And yeah, oh right, you can do it that way, or you can roll 2 d8s, whichever one you prefer.
2d8 and then add the +4.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll do that.
Nice.
12 plus 4, so 16.
Woof, woof, woof. Doing some damage.
And then I'll move. Well,
This thing is just
Okay.
starting to, like, parts of it that were solid are starting to get a little bit squishy and liquid. Looking pretty hard. Looking
I'm
pretty
gonna
rough.
move over here.
All right, just circling as these people are just buzzing around it clockwise. You can see Darmida, and you can see each other pretty easily as you just whip this thing. All right, up next, Wolf.
Wolf is gonna do what Wolf does. He's just gonna keep tearing into it. First roll is not good.
Second roll's worse.
Ooh, no. Finally starts to miss. So roll a
Alright.
9.
Yeah, rolled a 9, so it's just trying to and still takes 10 cold damage as it's just raking
Down
its
to
mouth
34.
across. And,
It doesn't have.
It did get a bit of the
so
heal.
sorry. But did it get advantage on that?
Yeah.
It did,
It
yeah.
only has one attack.
He rolled a 1 and a 4, so that's not going to help.
Oh, I thought he took 2 different attacks. My
No.
apologies. I misunderstood that.
Whereas, yeah.
All right, coming up next, we've got Henrietta. It's a shadow.
Cool.
Those are
But
better
yeah,
than
yeah.
just wolves.
It's got the direwolf stat block, I believe.
Something like that, yeah.
But I've played a lot of
Yeah, it
druids. I
does.
know how strong those are. It's not scaling to this level.
The 10 hit point scale.
Still done
Oh, totally.
quite well.
Yeah.
It's done a lot better than some of you guys.
How high up is Darmita right now? Because you're flying, right?
She was 30 feet.
30.
Okay, so I can't close that. I can't get you in my
Well, if you were directly
protection.
under her, you'd be within 20.
Yeah, but I got like Shield Master and Aura Protection. Then I can't use either of those. So I'll glance up at Darmita, and I guess I will sort of continue because I just turned around, right? So I would have gone. I'm going back this way now, and turning around, something like that. So that I'm next to Fenris, but I'm just kind of waiting at this point, I guess.
Sure, absolutely. So you turn your snow white steed around, and you're now kind of standing guard over top of
Yeah,
or
I'm
next to
going
Fenris.
technically somewhere like this because
Yeah, it's
the
all good.
speed itself is
Yeah.
large.
All right,
Size categories.
and that's your turn. All right, coming up to back to the creature, and this thing
Yeah,
is
I'll
just
like hold a move if everyone suddenly decides to bolt for some reason, but that's not expected.
all right. Well, I was excited. I rolled a 19, but because of that wolf, it's rolling with disadvantage, and so the 6.
Is it every aspect or just the initial casting? 'Cause that's really cool if it is. It's just surprising.
That's the scaling. You're muted there.
Sorry. Everyone, it's the
Yeah.
Shadow Sork shtick.
It is. That is vicious. That is a vicious wolf of yours, and it's just. You can hear this sound escaping. You're not sure if it's air escaping or like it's boiling on the inside or freezing. It is not pleased, but it is unable to move. Top of the order, Darmita.
Ah, finally. Yeah, she's just feeling a little breezier up there. It's a little, warmer, not cooler. So she is going to turn on this thing and attack it.
Make your rolls with advantage. That is so clutch. Man, this would have been a
Frick is
different
going
fight.
on with my internet people? Oh my god. Okay, finally. Sorry.
It's okay.
I'm having horrible time with my freezing. That's a 28.
28 hits.
Plus,
All right.
so that's 13 total damage. And then she's going to go again. She's pissed. That's 24
That's a hit. Ooh,
for
max.
another 15 damage.
Oh, this thing
So,
is just
what, 28 total?
You're slamming the arrows into the, raining it down onto its head from behind. It's just like right in the nape of the neck, just, and you can hear this
Yeah,
thing's just like.
I feel like I'm just
Oh, it is.
peppering
It
it
is
like
just
this way.
pin-cushioned. It is so damaged, and it's just the force of that shadow that's just holding it in place. All right.
Yeah. And
Fenris.
I feel like, in between turns, I'm kind of like licking my own wounds.
Mm-hmm.
Pissed off that it got me so good.
All right, Fenris. What do you want to do to this thing?
So Fenris is going to.
You can tell just looking at this thing in the eye. This thing is just on death's door.
Yeah. So Fenris is going to cast save his Sork points, and he's going to cast Chill Touch.
All right.
Oh, right, necrotic, yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
Dumb name.
All right. So this ghostly hand appears right in front of its eye, and just makes contact. Go ahead and make your roll.
Ooh, nat 20.
Nat 20. That's gonna scale well.
Yeah.
I don't even. You don't actually need to roll.
I think it's 68 now because of 3d8. So it roll.
Let me put it this way.
Is that right?
Even if you roll all ones, you can't roll low enough to let this thing live. It had 5 HP left. Go ahead and describe how this goes down.
So just, seeing what just happened with Darmida just raining hell down on it, Fenris just kind of like looks it in the eye, seeing how it's so frustrated and wounded, not able to do anything this entire time. He just kind of smiles at it, and he just kind of lifts his hand up, and as he does, like the skeletal, shadowy hand lifts up and just crunches it, and just basically just crunches it in place.
Absolutely. So
And
its exoskeleton finally gives way, and just
on the face.
all this liquid magma, and then it's funny because as it liquefies around the outside, and then this cold ice blue liquid just flows down on top of it, turning it to solid stone immediately. So what ends up happening is it is a vaguely almost melted looking shape of what it is, and then it immediately freezes into stone. It's just like, and there's this now essentially a statue of this thing, all damaged and slightly misshapen. You take a deep breath as the threat has passed.
And I feel like it's a... Huh?
Sorry. Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, no. It wasn't anything major. I just feel like at this point, Darmida would come back down to the ground, and sort of as she's getting there, that effect will happen. And this is new to her, so I feel like she's probably gonna have a tiny little, not like a raging hissy fit, but a little hissy fit like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
She doesn't know what this is.
Mm-hmm. You can go ahead and roll a either perception or survival check, because you haven't encountered this before.
No, I haven't.
Speaking of, can I make a retroactive perception test for my turn since I didn't do anything?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I just want to look around since I'm just waiting.
21.
Yeah!
Nat 1 on Darcy.
Nat 1 for Darcy, 21 for me.
Nice. That is so on point. All right.
Really good.
So what ends up happening? So first of all, Darmida's like, "What is this thing?" And you start looking at this and taking it in and looking at the ground, and it's like beautiful mind / Boondock Saints. You're like, okay, this thing. What is this thing doing? And you take in. Wait a second. This thing has a chain around its neck, almost like a collar. You pick that up and you're like, wait a minute. This thing. This is like a guard dog. And at that moment, Henrietta's looking around to watch out for threats from this thing, and is all posted up to watch for any threats from this thing, and just totally out of left field doesn't it's like the sound in Henrietta's experience just fades away, and all you hear is Darcy, go ahead and roll a percentile dice for me.
Well, I'd love to roll a percentile dice for you. How about this one? It's a 48. I believe that's the one I want. If I remember correctly.
Calm, cool, soothing voice enters your mind through your helm. The creatures of the plains get twisted and put into service by the devils, sent to fight against the demon hordes. Beware, the handler draws near. Darmida, this thing was a sort of guard dog. Valerie, as you go and you go and retrieve the javelin from this, it takes you a few seconds to pry it out. It's no longer cold. It's cold, but it's not doing damage as you touch it. You pry this thing out and look around, and you hear this quiet applause, and you turn and see this humanoid shape, walking down a nearby hill, applauding you. So, what do you want to do? What do you want to do?
Are you next?
You say as you pose, ninja style.
Can we make them out, or are they just like a silhouette at this point?
You can make them out. You see a bone devil walking out from behind some rocks, probably about 80 feet away, perched up and had been watching the fight, and now comes walking. I don't know if you guys can see that. Comes walking forward.
Oh, it's so tiny. Why is it so tiny?
Oh, yeah, that should probably be a little bigger. Bone devils are a little bit sizable.
So their clapping was like clack, clack, clack.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
they maybe xylophone sounds.
Click, click. Yeah. Kong, kong, kong. That's the button to resize.
Can
there it
I?
is.
Because it's a demon,
It's a fiend, a devil.
a fiend. Yeah. Well, more importantly, a fiend.
Right.
Whether demon or devil, I don't care. I'm not. Hey, I don't discriminate
You
against
don't
who I hate.
discriminate against murder.
You only discriminate. Yeah.
I mean, devil, demon, succubus, fiend's a fiend. I hate them equally. Can I, because they are my favored creature, I have the ability with my tracking and my history and all of that stuff to be able to kind of surmise historic facts or information about these creatures.
Sure.
So
go ahead and do a perception check.
I mean, that's the technical ability, but I don't know how that really in real life would work. Or
what are you
well,
looking for,
not-
right?
this
Are
is
you trying to
D&D, but-
recognize this like bone devil as a specific bone devil, like a named one?
Yeah, I guess.
All
I'm
right.
trying to see.
You take
if
it all in and you
I
try
know
to
lore
actually
about
do it
this
either an
creature.
insight or perception, and you'll have advantage because you are fiendishly
So,
disaffiliated. Insight or perception.
or perception.
Favorite enemy's such a weird
Well, it
ability.
doesn't matter because they both suck. But I've got a D8. Because it
You
probably
do
has
have a
not been
D8
10 minutes.
inspiration.
since-
It has not. And you do have advantage.
Right. So let's see how this goes.
I approve of this use of that die.
I'm
But you
gonna
might not need it.
actually because I have to use it anyway. I'm actually gonna just use it
Yeah.
to see how high I can get. Oh my god, what a piece of shit. Okay.
18 plus 3, that's not too bad. 18
21.
is 21. Hey, so you turn around and you take this thing in and it walks forward. Its arms are kind of lankily down at its side. Well, actually, its arms are up, clapping. But it doesn't seem to be a threat at a glance. Its tail isn't... it's the twisted, barbed tail that it's got that is, I believe, venomous. Doesn't seem to be raised. You take in its bony, fiendish face, and it looks more like a smiling skull. And it would be intimidating, except it doesn't seem to have the intent of immediate harm as it looks at you all, the pale white orbs of its eyes just taking you in. And it looks at you all and says, "Well done.
I'll have to
on
get
them?
I'll have to get another.
It is infernal, unfortunately, for you.
Thank you.
But anyone who's speaking infernal, who speaks infernal, understood.
Yeah, worth mentioning.
Am I close enough or within range to actually speak back?
Oh yeah, it's only about 20 feet away from you.
And I do recognize who it is.
You recognize you don't recognize it specifically, but you recognize the markings on it. It's got little bits of cloth and talismans and wrappings in a few places, and you recognize a symbol. This is one of the same symbols that you had observed the succubus writing on that. Actually, you can read Infernal, so retroactively, you saw a little bit of what she had written in that letter of introduction, and it was written, "Dearest."
Dearest Belle, it has been too long. Please grant these mortals audience and safe passage for all time's sake.
Okay.
So you recognize the written name of Bell, and you can the symbol that represents it, and this bone devil bears that mark on its accoutrements.
Cool.
I like that. I think that's a really good in-game way of making that feature work. So I'm gonna kind of strongly yell out, confidently yell out, "Well, we have word from the Veiled One. If you'll allow me, I will bring you a letter that she's given to us for you."
Bill's
Cersei?
not here,
You're
man.
signing.
But give me the letter, and I will see that it is delivered.
At which point I pull out my arrow, train it on him, and say, "No, Bell will do."
It takes you in, looks at you all.
You can handle yourselves. Not bad. But you owe me one pet.
I'll tell you what.
Didn't say what size of pet.
So, this belonged to you? My sincere apologies.
Yes.
Internet, I'm going to need a name for a pet Magma Remores.
Yes.
This is going to be good.
Pookie.
I make no attempt to hide the sarcasm in that.
You didn't. You're right. Yeah.
Fine.
I was there. I heard it. I mean, Pen didn't.
I will escort you to a bell. That invitation had best not be a forgery, or I will personally eat your spleen and feed it to Flergix.
Thank you very much, Yelpin. That was wonderful. Flergy it is, but now it's Flergix 2, the Magma Remores 2. All right. So,
Come with me.
So the Bone Devil, unless you want to ask it some more questions, it is going to escort you the rest of the way to an audience with Bell.
I'm just going to say, as it says that, we thank you for your gracious offer and accept your hospitality. I just smile at it.
It looks at you funny, like most things don't speak nicely to it, and its eyes kind of flicker in and out, which you take as it's blinking, and then it goes back. Can I get Henrietta. I'm assuming Henrietta, unless you want to leave the machine here. But you now are out of combat. There's no imminent danger, and this thing will wait for you if you want to try it to fix the machine a little bit. Or you can just leave it, Henrietta, if you don't want to touch it.
We should
Why
take
are
the
you
machine.
talking to me?
Good point. You're up on your horse. Does anybody want to fix
Yeah,
the
it
machine, or are
would
you going to
be-
abandon it?
It would be me who would, I guess, handle that.
Sure. Darmida,
I'm kind of the keeper of the machine.
Yeah.
the keeper of the machine. All right, so you climb up underneath and get a look at this thing. It's going to take another strength or athletics check to try and break this thing loose.
I mean, like, if you wanted to, ask me to help do a thing, then she probably would. But
I would.
I
At
wouldn't
this
think
point,
you would.
yeah, at this point, Darmida knows.
You could spend your other rage point if you wanted to as well. Just saying.
Wow.
No.
Evil DM.
Athletics check at
I'm
disadvantage.
good. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
I gotta figure this rage thingy out. So far, I don't like it. So yeah, I'll get help from him.
All right. So Henrietta, Darmida asks you to assist, and so either one of you can go ahead and roll an athletics check with advantage.
So this is one of the demons that we're not killing on site. Okay. Can't keep them straight. What do you need help with? And I will.
I need you. I'll tell you what.
Hmm?
Here's how
The
we'll
Bone
do
Devil
this.
frowns at Henrietta's comment and is like, wait, you kill on sight?
I mean, I didn't hear any of that conversation. Yeah.
You grab that thing, pull it out, and I'll hold the machine.
Are you giving
Still.
me advantage? Are you helping?
Yeah.
Cool.
So you have
In
advantage.
her mind, she is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll take a 29 instead of a 26.
All
Wait,
right.
is it athletics or is it strength? I didn't.
Either one. Either one is fine.
'Cause
Athletics
my
is...
athletics is way higher.
Yeah,
than
you can use that. So you brace yourself and ching, you pull out this chunk of... it's part obsidian, part volcanic rock, and it was wedged up in the wheel, but it is now free. So the vehicle has been repaired. You now have an escort, and you can drive your vehicle, and you get the rest of the way without further incidents up to Bell's mountain. The Bone Devil insists you park your infernal machine at a kind of a nook out of the way, and takes you down through this cavernous passage down into this small Flergix. I'm going to get you to do a wisdom saving throw for me.
My favorite.
Yeah, so we're just going into some tunnels. There's not like a cool big gate or like.
No,
a bunch of
it's
other
if
devils
anything, it's a
hanging out.
back entrance.
Cool. Yeah, I wasn't sure if we were
Lovely.
gonna walk by like a royal guard or whatever.
No, it actually takes you through a twisting route that is intentionally difficult to follow.
Cool.
And at one
I assume
point,
it's like really tight. It's really tight in here. I assume.
it gets pretty tight in a
Wait,
few
well-
places.
I guess it couldn't be too tight because Bone Devil is large.
It is. It does. It gets a little bit tight in a few places, but it actually ends in this one passage with this thick, viscous pool sitting there. It's not ichor, but it's definitely some kind of weird, oily substance. And the Bone Devil motions towards you and says,
Dive in. Within you will find your audience.
So I'll be leading my horse at this point, not riding.
Do I, while we're walking down, can I just recall what the succubus whispered in my ear?
it was a name. And it was,
Very
Verices.
Verices.
Shh.
Shh, it's a secret. Just let me know if you ever need anything. There's a price. There it says.
Sorry, can I just intuit, like, maybe it's a whole... Is that her name?
We learned her name. It was like
No.
Lauren or something. Yeah, we did.
Oh,
We've all forgotten it, but
well, now it's
it definitely did come
Verices.
Okay.
Yeah, I figured it was.
So she whispered her name. In case...
She whispered her name as proof that you are sent by her.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably her real name as opposed to what she told us originally.
Yeah, probably.
Is it Verisas? Is that right?
Verissess.
Okay.
You get the impression you are not to tell anyone that who doesn't need to know.
Yeah, big deal name.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. So the Bone Devil motions towards this thick black substance floating in this kind of submerged pool, and insists that if you want to meet Belle, that's the way, and you have to submerge yourself in this.
What?
It's a pool of thick black viscous liquid that will transport you to...
I'm going to cast a spell. Can I cast a spell?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm going to cast Detect Poison and Disease.
Sure.
Weird spell that no one ever uses. It does basically what you expect it to do.
Oddly enough, a bunch of stuff, like you get fungus on the walls. You're like, oh god, do not eat that. That would, and don't. And it being in hell, there's a lot of stuff around here that's not great for you. So you actually get this. Boom, boom, boom. The Bone Devil itself
would also, because it detects creatures, not just like things.
Yeah, it's pretty fetid. But the liquid itself, while it does, you don't want to drink it. It doesn't seem to be poisonous to contact.
Cool. Yeah, I think it does detect like the poison, not just like things that are poison. If I remember correctly, I could be wrong.
It's
and to look up
it's not intending to be poisonous.
Submerge yourself and you will come out in the presence of the once mighty Belle.
So yeah, we see me like lower my head and sing something soft under my breath, and then I look around and I sort of nod it. But I mean, I don't know. I don't understand this guy, but I like nod at Fenris.
Yeah, you don't understand it. It's muttering only in Infernal.
Yeah.
All right, so
you
guys step in. Fenris walks first and steps into this. It's really warm. It's not hot, not causing damage, but it's just soupy warm, like almost hot tub level, but in a really gross kind of way. And you can feel it clawing up and amongst your skin and seeping through your boots and in your clothes, and it just envelops you. It clings to you as you start to step into this, up to your knees, up to your waist, up to your chest, up to your shoulders and your neck. And you look up at this bone-white, skeletal face of this devil, and it nods encouragingly, says,
an audience with the master.
Great. I just want to actually do an insight check to make sure it's not deceiving us.
Yep, go for it.
A little suspicious. I haven't done insight in a while. Okay. Just 10, so I'm not sure, but I guess I'll do it.
It's a little hard to read. It's an ominous, grinning skull, and when it's like, go on, go.
All right. I'm just gonna assume with like the letter.
This thing was singing a lullaby,
and I'm just gonna go.
Yeah, it's sealed in the skull, and you just. It's super claustrophobic feeling as you, and this stuff that seeps into your mouth and open into your eyes. Yeah, okay, that's fair. You hold your breath and you go underneath, and there's a few seconds, and you being one to understand teleporting intuitively and through long training, you feel a slight pull somewhere behind your navel, indicating you are no longer in the place that you were before. And you come back up to the surface, and as you come out, the liquid is kind of slowly coming off you. It leaves an oily residue, but other than that, it does kind of seep off of you as you clamber out. And you are in a small antechamber that's lit by this flickering orange light. It's worked stone behind you. If you're on the new map, you are right here. And there is a pillar opposite, and there's a bridge leading it's only about 25 feet long by about 15 feet wide, and then it stops with this rough-hewn edge, and on the other side of that edge, it is a river of molten lava, just bubbling and bubbling, and there's this small bridge, 5-foot wide bridge extending across into a darkened chamber opposite. The whole place has this oppressive feeling of heat, and you can hear this dang, dang, and you feel it in your chest, and these sparks just go. You see this massive silhouette, just lit in the dark, briefly on the opposite side. Just this really massive creature moving. All you see is muscle and shoulders and sparks, and then your vision is overwhelmed by the darkness again, and the orangey glow kind of illuminating immediately in your vicinity, but not really showing you much into the chamber beyond. I'm assuming the rest of you choose to follow in this oily, soupy...
I will follow him very close behind.
Okay, you pop out very close behind and see exactly the same thing. Valerie, how was your wisdom save?
11.
11.
You managed to force yourself to go within, but only just. So you also can emerge from this. Henrietta, in theory, you could drag your horse, but intuitively, it wants to not go in there.
I wasn't going to.
Okay.
Yeah, I take a moment and I turn and I put a hand on the side of the horse's head. Probably like rest my head on their forehead for a moment. I don't know if we can telepathically. I think we can, but I can't remember. Either way, I communicate with it to say something along the lines of, thank you for your service so far. Return with the knowledge you have seen, and I will unsummon them.
Absolutely.
And I don't know what happens to the spirit when I summon a new one. It's the same spirit, and it goes somewhere. So I don't know. Maybe they're gonna
honestly,
take
it just
messages back to Peller. I don't know. That'd be cool.
It kind of nuzzles you like forehead to forehead for a second, and the side of your head that is on the demon side just prickles and itches like crazy, and you just wish you could get a stick in there to. But the other side feels this cool sensation of calm and peace, and the being just goes translucent and is gone. Then you submerge and submerge into the black liquid as well, and emerge on the other side next to Fenris and Darmida.
Okay. And I will say, unless I'm mistaken, which I should double check, but I'm pretty sure that Detect Poison is a concentration spell.
Yep.
So if anything happens, let me know.
Okay, absolutely. And if you're still there, Uncanny Tree, thanks very much for joining us tonight. And I'm sorry, you can always catch the rest of this if you're still there. You can always catch us on podcast on replay. But thanks very much for your input tonight. It's great having you. All right, so you can all place yourselves in Belle's inner sanctum, and we can pause here if you want, or we could keep going a little bit more.
I gotta wake up early tomorrow morning, man.
Fair enough. So
Cool.
you
Puppy dogs.
Yep. So you do manage to see about this much of the chamber, which, if you can see that correctly, you see these sparks being kicked off of this massive, literal giant, a fire giant with a brilliant red beard and hair and just massive, non-armored, just a massive leather apron over its front, and it's got wielding this huge hammer, and these sparks just flying off. You see it in the dark, just as it's just hammering in this rhythmic fashion, and you hear other percussive sounds. You're not sure if it's echoes in the chamber or if there are others of these, as you see other sparks, just little flickers of light from within the chamber. And you see floating above it, just behind this, you see this pillar sorry, not this pillar. You see this platform of rock hover into view, down into view, just almost shoulder height of this giant. And on its back, you see this massive red devil with these huge curving horns. Picture Tim Curry, you know? And, yeah. And you see him muttering in infernal to this thing. Work harder, you lazy. Sorry, that was the other voice. You see this creature, and it turns its head and sees you all.
Welcome. Curious. Looks like we have new guests. And I think that's where we're going to call it for the night.
Nice.
All right,
Think
yeah, exactly.
about
What are you going to say to an archdevil? Or
what I'm gonna
once.
say to this guy.
One-time
Why not?
archdevil. All right, well, I think we'll call it there. Thanks very much, guys, for playing. That was fun. Man, that whole monster, I was just like, I could have murderated you all so hard. But I'm glad that worked in your favor. That was, when I read that, I was like, oh,
It hurts.
that wasn't even the worst of it. The worst of it is if it swallows her, and it was about to when you held it. You saved her life. Guaranteed. Because if it swallows you, you are in big trouble. So,
I pulled her out before their next turn.
anyway, thanks very much, everybody, for playing. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for listening after the fact and watching after the fact. Thank you, Yaofan, and I appreciate the moderation help, too. So we need a title for tonight's episode.
Todd, are you aware that you still have the mod on?
No.
Oh no! I was unaware. Awesome.
Yeah,
Which one?
Awesome.
Was it the succubus or Bell?
it was Bell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't always have my monitor playing my voice. That's funny.
Nice.
Damn it, Bella.
Oh, come on. Can't I have some fun?
All right, so we're gonna need an episode title. Thanks very much. I'm glad you're having some fun. So,
I mean, I just want to say welcome to Bell, honestly. But
that was pretty good. That was pretty good. Yalfen, do you have anything for us or anybody else? Welcome to Bell.
I'm down with welcome to Bell.
That's gonna be tough to beat.
Unless Yelfin, because Yelfin usually comes up with some pretty
Yalfen does. I say
fine shit.
the rise of Flergix 2.
We haven't seen Flergix 2 yet.
Well, now Flergix 2 has become the alpha. It's going to be the Magma Remoras.
I see. I gotcha. The other Flergix 2 already exists. That's not the next pick that they're
It's
getting.
just promoted.
It's that, yeah.
Flergix's more of a title. Alpha Flergix.
Flergix's a title.
I don't know if that's going to be a title, but that is a
Flergix.
It is how you spent your time. You beat the hell out of Alpha Flergix.
Singularly, they're a Flergix. If it's plural, they're Flergix, and this is now the plural,
Flergices.
the alpha Flergix.
Yeah, I think it'd be Flergix. I think, yeah.
Flergix.
Ooh, right in the Flergix.
All right.
That doesn't sound very good at all.
God help us. God help us.
It's getting late. We're getting punchy. All right. Thanks very much, everybody. We will.
Is it the weekend yet?
Oh, so close. And I actually get some extra time.
Guys.
Good night there, Carl. Thanks for playing.
Hi,
night.
girl.
I'm getting some extra time
night.
next week, so I'm going to
Night,
see if I can
Internet.
get extra games. So if anybody might want to do that. All right. I think that's it for tonight. So we'll call it there. And thanks very much. So we'll see everybody hopefully Thursday or before. Pow! Right in the Flergix.
I'm looking.
That was Yelfin, by the way. Oh my god. Okay.
I saw it was yelping.
Oh, I'm actually crying right now. All right. Thanks very much, everybody. We'll see you in a week. See you back here Thursday. I think, actually, technically, if I'll let the players decide, but technically, it would be Shadowrun next week. So we could do Shadowrun next week, or we can continue this game, or I do have some time. We might be able to get a bonus round. Get 2 games in a week. We could do
bonus round.
bonus. Oh, that was echoey. I gotta go easy on that.
I would definitely like to kind of get this going with Bell next week. Yeah.
All right.
I
All
would
right.
too.
Well, we'll let's sort it out. Maybe we'll do an extra game. Maybe we'll move the Shadowrun to a different day if that would work for people, and then we could do D&D on the regular Thursday. So if you want to join us live, let's do that. I'll check in with the other players and see who can do Shadowrun when. But I think I'd like to do that too because I'm on vacation. Yeah.
It's vacation time. Oh yeah.
All right. This was a long intro. We'll talk about it off stream. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
SideQuest Live. Thanks so much for tuning in. We try to record all of our games as much as possible, whether that's Dungeons & Dragons or Shadowrun or another tabletop role-playing game. Just a quick side note about all the licenses and copyrights involved. Our music is all Creative Commons attribution music on our live stream video feed or YouTube replay or Twitch VOD. We always attribute each individual artist, so be sure to check out those individual artist attributions. Lots of love to so many people who make their work available so that we can do what we do. So thank you. It influences our game. It makes it immeasurably better. So much appreciation for them. Let's not forget the makers of the games. Dungeons & Dragons is copywritten by Wizards of the Coast. They own it. They make it available to all of us to play, and it's wonderful. We are in no way affiliated with them, and nor do they endorse this podcast, but we are very appreciative. The other game we often play is Shadowrun, which is Catalyst Games. And again, we are not affiliated with them, and they do not endorse us, but we really appreciate their game, and we hope you appreciate our game. Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Twitch and YouTube, and watch for those live games once we're streaming them out. And of course, we do accept suggestions for names, so please hit us up on Instagram and name our stuff. All right, thanks so much. I'm Todd, and this has been SideQuest Live. We'll see you again soon.